everybody, and welcome to the United Stand. You are the number one. Who remembers that? That used to be European football. That's what it was all about. If you remember that theme tune, you're old school and old. But it's Manchester United against Sevilla in the Europa League in Sevilla. And it's got severe circumstances if we don't win tonight, because we'll be going out. Now, apparently we've played Sevilla 4 times in European competition, and we've not beaten them in any of those games. Well, tonight, Matthew, I think that we will do it. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. Let me just see what's going on here. 1 minute. I'm gonna go through. Well, the team news is up on the screen there. Oh, sorry, I've got to sort this very, very quickly. Maguire is playing. Maguire is playing. And Ronnie Pickering. So there's the team for Manchester United. I was just checking something there because I wanted to be 100% sure. So the starting lineup for Manchester United is actually the team that played against Nottingham Forest last Sunday, with one exception. Bruno Fernandes can't start, so he's not there. Marcus Rashford is on the bench. Luke Shaw is on the bench. Malacia is on the bench. Iqbal Alanga's on there as well. We'll go through the bench in a minute, but Marcus Rashford not quite fit enough to start tonight, so he doesn't start. Neither is Luke Shaw. Don't massively have a problem with this team, if I'm being honest. I want to see Luke Shaw playing at left centre-back with Victor Lindelof, and I think we'll see that on Sunday. And I think if that works, you've got to stick with it. But tonight, is it worth... I saw Ricky do a video on Twitter. Is it really worth risking Luke Shaw or Marcus Rashford? I'm happy with it, says Dale. I'm happy with it as well. Yeah, I am. Patrick, welcome to the Members Club. And tonight, Matthew, I want to be Mark Goldbridge. I've played the game, says Slow Sports News. Well, we've got the little Sir Alex book there. No, I don't know whether you gave me that, Slow Sports News. I think you did. But we're going to go for it. I think we're going to defend from the front. Probably not going to be that good defending from the back in relation to who we've got playing. But let me just confirm you the bench as well. It's going to be nice. It's going to be it's a very nice stadium. Little bit of trivia question for you, actually. What's the capacity of Sevilla's football ground? But warm weather, Manchester United will be playing short sleeve shirts. Let's get the job done. It's a European quarter final. It's not the Champions League, but there's an opportunity to be in a semi-final. And look, I remember when we played Villarreal in the final and we lost, and I remember when we played Ajax in the final and we won. Those nights were magical in their own way. I mean, obviously, I'm talking before the game. It wasn't magical when we lost the bloody final, but it was magical when we won against Ajax. But they are magical nights, whether it's the Poundland Champions League or not. So the bench for Manchester United is Butland and Vitek, 2 goalkeepers again. Malacia, Luke Shaw, Fred, Pellistri, Iqbal, Alanga, Rashford and Weghorst. I mean, it's interesting that Brandon Williams isn't even on the bench for Manchester United, even though he's fit. It just shows you how low down Brandon Williams is in Erik ten Hag's thoughts, because we've only got two defenders there, Malacia and Shaw. Obviously got Fred, Pellistri. We've only got 1 midfielder as well. Well, Iqbal as well, and then 4 forwards with Weghorst, Rashford, Alanga and Pellistri. So yeah, that's how we're going to line up. There's not a lot on the bench really in the midfield. No Bruno, no McTominay, so it sort of feeds into what we do. But there we go. Right, let's have a look at what we've got here in the chat. Lots of people reacting. Very, very happy with it. I'm happy with the team as well. Can't complain. A few people talking about Harry Maguire. I think it's irrelevant. I don't think that they're defensively that strong. I don't think they're offensively that strong, so I think we'll be okay. I don't expect us to be defending that much, if I'm honest. So, yeah, I think we'll be okay. Sevilla's capacity is 42,500, so Slow Sports News. Thank you very much. We are weaker with Slow Maguire in defence, says Darren, but we don't really have that much choice, do we? Teams as expected, says John Stewart, and Iqbal isn't worth starting. And I didn't expect any other lineups this time. Well, I suppose it was just wet. I mean, Sabitzer has come back into the team, but Malacia and Rashford and Luke Shaw obviously not worth the risk at this time. And look, Sevilla, I mean, I'll give you their team, but realistically, it's not really anything that we need that we don't know already. I just... Look, they're at home. They might be a very different proposition at home, I suppose, but I really do think we're going to defend from the front. I really do think we're going to create chances, and I really do think that we can knock them out tonight. We won't be defensive. We've got a very strong midfield, like Key 7 says, and yeah, I fancy Manchester United to win tonight. I really, really do. Shouldn't underestimate them, Mark. It's their league, anyways. Yeah, but Jeffrey, I mean, that's just you know, at the end of the day. I mean, I nearly used somebody who died, but at the end of the day, can you remember Princess Leia from Star Wars? Everybody fancied her, like everybody. She was absolutely gorgeous. Everyone thought she was amazing when she was in Return of the Jedi. Was it the same? Did people feel the same when she was in Force Awakens? And not because the film was rubbish. You know, she looked very different. I feel that that's like what Sevilla are like. You know, they're not Return of the Jedi Princess Leia anymore. They're a Force Awakens Princess Leia now, and it's a very different proposition. It's the same team, it's the same name, but it's a very different Sevilla compared to that. And I don't fall into that nonsense. Just Keevan said I'd have had a go on her on Force Awakens. She was probably old enough to be a grandmate, bit of gilf. But look, I think that I don't believe in that. I mean, it's funny me saying I don't believe in that sort of stuff, considering I seem to have jinx powers. But I don't believe in that. I think that's just something Man United need to remove from their head. If you start believing in that nonsense, oh, Sevilla, it's their tournament. Bullshit. It's not the same manager. It's not the same players. The only thing that's the same is the name. And we've seen how the name Manchester United doesn't actually mean that much over the last 10 years, does it? So once the finishing ain't as bad as Sane last night, we should get through, says Rory C. Thank you very much. Good options off the bench if needed, says James. Is there though? I mean, I think Rashford's a good option off the bench, but and Fred gives you a bit of energy, but I don't think there's huge options off the bench really. Rakitic was taking up the atmosphere at the stadium. Hope he gets sent off, says Kenneth. Well, let's go through the Sevilla team for you, because some people will be interested. For me, I think we're the favourites, and I think we've got to look at that. Obviously, I'm not looking at if we win this game, but if we did win this game, we would play Sporting or Juventus. Juventus are 1-0 up from the first leg, but obviously second leg's in Portugal, and you know, that will take care of itself. But the Sevilla lineup, if you're interested in it, Bono's in goal. The Edge is at right back. No, Bono's in goal. Navas at right back. Badi, somebody else, I can't pronounce the name. Acuna, obviously of Argentina, on the left back position. Ocampos gave Malacia a bit of a running over last week, didn't he? Gugel, Rijas, Rakitic, Lamela, and En-Nesyri. So I mean, look, they're half decent. They're half decent. I don't think they're a team that we need to worry massively about, if I'm being honest. But we'll see. I'm confident. Let's hope for a win. But if we don't I think we can hold our heads up high and be thankful that we have Ten Hag and trust in him, says Slow Sports News. Hi, Mark. Can't you say that there's no way Nelson will ever get laid in his lifetime? Come on, United, says Nelson. And I can't wait for La Liga relegation battle, Sevilla to humble. Premier League title contenders, Manchester United, says Jury. Well, I don't want to get too much into any La Liga against the Premier League sort of debate, because I really do want La Liga to beat the Premier League when it comes to the Man City Real Madrid game. But thanks for the super chats that have come in early here. I appreciate that. There is sorry, I've got to message this. Bench awful. Glazers out, says Aidan. Welcome to the Members Club, Michael. Adam says that is not what you were saying a couple of weeks ago. Don't know what you're talking about. If you don't give any context, I'm not a magician. I can't magic what's in your head off a line. I thought it was going to be a good point. Unfortunately, you didn't put the detail in there. Score prediction for tonight, Mark. I'm worried, says Michael. I think I've gone 3-1, Man United. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited for Manchester United. No, but I'm excited tonight. I think that... I'm really excited about the next 4 games. There's nowhere to hide. Sevilla away, Brighton in the semi-final of the FA Cup, Spurs away, and then Villa at home. I mean, we haven't got what we've probably had. You know, we've always had games every 3.5 days, but there's always a Reading at home in there, isn't there, or something like that. The next 4 games, I can't wait. Did you hear about Bono falling off the stage? Got too close to the edge, says Rory C. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I hope Delo advances up more in a game like this, says Bailey. I mean, I'm just pumped for the start of this game, but I'm going to go 3-1 to Manchester United. I think we've always got a goal conceded in us when you've got, you know, when you're playing away from home. But look, I fancy Man United to win. There's nothing wrong with that, is there? Nothing wrong with that. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Get your comments in. Did Fred do an interview? Why has he been dropped, says Eric. Fred's out in the cold, isn't he? And we don't know why, and nobody knows why. And I've spoken to a few people, and nobody knows why. Just no idea at all. But, yeah, I nearly said something then that I'm not allowed to say, actually. But I can't. It's nothing to do with Fred. It's to do with the ownership of Manchester United, which I'll probably talk about tomorrow. I'm just waiting for it to sort of hit the press a little bit. The Sevilla lineup is like Southgate's lineup, says Lord. And sort the carousel, please. Want to see the Man United team? Yeah, but I don't do that, mate. I let people see the Sevilla team and the Man United team, and then I start the carousel, which I'm just about to do now. Which is done. Okay. What's the team? God, do people tune in that late? It's the same team as Sunday, but you've got Bruno Fernandes out, suspended, in comes Sabitzer. It's my birthday on Saturday, and Anthony's cooking a masterclass as a present for me. Love that man, says Lee. Great, good stuff, good stuff. And whoever scores first is going to lose, says Alpine Girl. That's a weird one. Never heard of that. Joe's really happy that Iqbal's on the bench. I tell you what, Joe, I think it'll be a bloody miracle if he gets on the pitch. Yeah. I really do not think that will happen. You're going to loss, says Ben Reyes. You need to learn to spell, Ben. You're going to loss. You've put about 6 S's there, but dismissed the E. I mean, it still sort of makes sense. It just means that you're not very literate. Mark, one day I'll work with you guys at the United Stand. Mark my words, says Anasto. Okay. We are actually looking for a cleaner. And... Anthony needs to find his right foot, says Greasy. Well, you know what? Robban never did. I'm hoping for a Rashi and Shaw masterclass from the bench, says Sakin. I'm not. I'm actually not. I'm hoping that we don't actually have to use Rashford or not Martinez. You're probably looking at what I was looking at there. I hope we don't have to use Rashford and Shaw. I think it'd be great if we don't have to use them. So, yeah. If we could only win one more trophy this season, which would you pick between the two, says Adam. Easy. I would... it would be the FA Cup, just to stop Man City. I am that bitter. I'm excited to see Delo at left-back again. I think he's going to enjoy cutting inside if he plays well. Do you think he could continue there, says Declan O'Connor. Thank you very much for your super chat, Declan. I think Delo can play at left-back. We've seen it with... We've seen it with Cancelo. So I think he can do it. God, I can't be doing this when I'm live, you know. It's a joke. Okay, Mark, he's driving home from work. Mark, driving home from work in Dublin. Sun is shining and I'm blasting Ronan Keating. Life is a roller coaster with the windows down. What a day, says Globetrotter. You know, if we lose now, we know who to blame. putting bloody Ronan Keating in on a match day to get in the mood, better off putting a bit of porn on. If you know, you know. Mark, who would you say the Sevilla team is as good as from the Premier League, says Cameron? I did previously say they were a little bit like Aston Villa, but Aston Villa are no longer a mid-table team. So Aston Villa are one of the in-form teams in the Premier League. So I think that I would say that Sevilla are probably... it's hard. It's really hard to say because the Premier League is not normal this year. You've got all really good teams and then you've got all really bad teams. So I'd say Sevilla are probably a little bit like Crystal Palace, aren't they? Something like that. Nothing like the way Crystal Palace play. I mean, actually, I can't say because people take things literally. Like this morning, I said that Højlund is more Harry Kane than he is Haaland, and apparently I've said that he's identical to Harry Kane, which I bloody didn't say. But so you just get clipped up, and I can't be arsed. You know, Goldbridge says Sevilla are just like Crystal Palace. They're not. But if they're in the Premier League, they'd be a mid-table to bottom half team. Did you see the commentators up and Maguire joke, says Ramiro? No, I didn't. And that's a bit harsh for a professional commentator to do that. Do you listen to... No. What do you think about Maguire and Sancho starting today, says Ahmed? Well, I think if Luke Shaw and Marcus Rashford were fit, those two players would be dropping out. Yeah. I wouldn't play... I would play Luke Shaw over Maguire and move Lindelof across, and I would play obviously Rashford over Sancho. But I don't think either of them are fit. So you go with what you've got. I've not got a massive problem with that team. Is it true Eric doesn't want to sell Aaron Wan-Bissaka anymore? Also, who would you prefer, Sabitzer and McAllister or De Jong? Says Giovanni. I don't know, mate. I'm not going to waste any time talking about something. I don't know. I don't know. I've not heard anything about Wan-Bissaka being up for sale or not wanting to be sold at all. So I don't know. In relation to your second point, who would you prefer, Sabitzer and McAllister or De Jong? Two is better than one. I think we do need some quantity. But I've got to say I'd go with De Jong because I just want Ten Hag to get the player he's obsessed about. Who do you think has the largest... I'm not interested in that, dickhead. And semi-pro... Matt Barry, thank you very much. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Who is top of your shopping list? I don't care. Can we look? Really, why are people so obsessed with transfers? We're about to play. This is the problem with football fans these days. You're obsessed with the bloody. I think if you had a porn mag, you'd be interested in that rather than the real thing. Like, there's a real match of football going on. Manchester United are playing Sevilla in the second leg of a European quarter-final. It's 2-2. We're about 40 minutes away from the start, and people are going, oh, would you like Enzo Lefebvre? I would. I couldn't give a shit about Enzo Lefebvre. I really couldn't. I want to get excited about this game of football because you know what? People get obsessed with transfers. Everyone gets really hyped about a transfer. They play a couple of games, and then they go, oh, actually, they're not that good. Like, the most important point of football is playing football. And we've got a massive set of games coming up for us. Let's get into it. Stop talking about the bloody future. Let's deal with the now. We've got a massive game in front of us. I was catching up on the morning show. Maguire won't leave because he won't lose. I play for Man United. I'm good enough attitude. He has a small club mentality, says John. Well, let's try and be positive before the game, John. I don't necessarily disagree with you, but we have got a big game. People wanting both Wan-Bissaka and Dalot to stay compared to last year when there was team... Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Dalot, good to see the fan base appreciate their strengths, says Mohammed. Well, I still think there's people who don't like Dalot. I find it crazy, but there you go. And Bradley says, I would compare Sevilla to Chelsea at the moment. Big name who is underperforming, very vulnerable, struggle to score and concede a lot, Bradley. Yeah, but they haven't got the quality of Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea have got some bloody fantastic players who don't live up to the hype. I don't think that's it. Okay. Mark, can we all call rubbish to this Guardian article trying to destroy our badge, says Tom. I only vaguely know a little bit about this, and something to do with the Man City and Man United badge having links to slavery because it's got a boat on it, something like that. I think I've got that correct. It's a very look. At the end of the day, if you're offended by it, then something will be done about it because that's the world we live in, of course. But I also think that, you know, you can't rewrite history in the sense that those things did happen and they're appalling. But, you know, judging it in 2023, I just don't think is right. I don't think it's right. That badge doesn't mean slavery to any Manchester United fan. It doesn't. So, are we going to change the badge because of that? I just think I wouldn't change it because it's never meant that to me. And obviously that's a very, very bad thing. You know, things change. Like, it doesn't mean it was right. Of course it was wrong if that was the reason that it's got it on the badge. But that's not what it represents. There is no United fan who thinks that. And, you know, in the 1960s, some of my relations, some of your relations who lived in this country, you know, there was jokes on comedies about racism and they probably laughed at them. So technically, well, not even technically, they were racist. But, you know, are we going to send them to prison now for racism? The thing is that the past is the past. It's written. As long as we learn from the past and change it for the future, that's the message. But I don't think we should be changing our badge. But that's only my opinion. I don't know what the weight of feeling against it is. I mean, I think sometimes in society people go looking for problems when there are far bigger problems like racism that don't get solved. So I don't know what people think about it. But for me, I just think I can't believe it's come up. I've never heard of it in my life. And, you know, to me, it's just another thing that people can have a moan about, isn't it? Mark, Eric has just said he thinks the squad has great depth. I disagree. Come on, United, to Spencer. And I was full on news show mentality rather than game mode, says John. Get in the game mode, John. We won't hold it against you. You know, it's like somebody coming to work on a day where you need to be up for it and they're a little bit down. Have a coffee and get up for it. Griezmann could be really good transfer for United, says Manchester United. Anyway, look, one thing I do want to say is that Juventus... 15 points have been returned. Didn't know that. Don't know why that's all about. Forgot how slippy we defended in Europa final. Sloppy, says Griffin. Yeah, crossers. And if they change the badge, eventually they'd have to change the name to Manchester United, says Johnny. And gutted Luke's not starting. Magaluf as a partnership makes me anxious. I think it's time to put the beer away and get the whiskey out, says Joshua. Cheers, Mark. Having a cold one before the match. Gassed for this one. Who do you reckon will be the standout performers today, says greetings from Norway, says Snoot. Well, big shout out to everybody everywhere. Fantastic community. Whether you're in America or India or Australia or Norway or everywhere else, you're very welcome on the United Stand. You know that. This community's for everybody. Johnny, welcome. Gifted 10 memberships. What a legend Johnny is. I can sense the enthusiasm and positivity in the chat. Evening Goldbridge. Hopefully we get a Martial performance like Sunday. That midfield should dominate. Well, just going back to the previous question about who I think will have the biggest impact tonight. Standout players. I don't know whether anybody played the TUS predictor that we did on the preview. So you get 10 questions. You can win money out of it. But basically, questions are like, will there be more than 3 goals or less? Will Man United have more than 5 corners? One of them was, will Anthony score or get an assist? And I went with no. So I'm not expecting Anthony to score tonight if I want to win that prize. But I do think he can have a big game and he needs to build on it. Garrett, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for joining. And Noah says, extremely nervous. Maguire is playing. Hopefully he plays well so we can sell him. Also, at what price tag is Kane worth it? Me, no more than 40 or 50. I think you're going very cheap, Noah. I think you're going very cheap. Marty, thank you very much for your super chat. I think Harry Kane logically is worth about £80 million top. You know, I think that's a fair price to play. J90 says, evening Goldbridge. Hopefully we will get a Martial performance. I've done that one, haven't I? But you've got 2 shout-outs there. Mark, would you take Leao from AC Milan? Unpopular opinion, but I think he should be our winger and sell Sancho. Let's go United. Liam, I really like Leao. I do like Leao, so I would take him is the short answer. Weren't we called Newton Heath until early 1900s? Slavery was ended decades before that, and Newton Heath doesn't have boat on its logo, says Shahin. Well, there you go. Quick history lesson there. Based on Sevilla's team selection and formation, we may see a crappy game, but we should do enough to win. I think the game will be won and lost in the midfield, Jackers. And the Manchester United badge is the greatest badge in the world, coming from an African-American man in the US up the United Stand, says Black Wolf. And that's just absurd. The ship symbolises trade, as Manchester was a trade hub. Look, Amal, it's generating a bit of conversation. We don't duck conversations on the United Stand, whether it's the ownership, you know, ex-players talking nonsense, Mason Greenwood, whatever. We'll always talk about it, and we'll try and do it in a way that's constructive. The ship on the Manchester United badge, and I've had many Man United kits like you have, from a kid to an adult. I have never, ever, and I've got it here. So let's talk about the Manchester United badge. I have never in my life thought about that and slavery or anything like that. For me, the devil is what our nickname is. Manchester United, a couple of footballs, and yeah, the ship to me represents. Maybe I'm being naive here. That the fact that Manchester was always, you know, a trade route in the olden days, and you know, ships. Now, if we have to change our badge because of that, I think it's ridiculous. You know. Hi Mark, so excited for this, starving for more trophies, says Brian. What do you think of Santiago Jimenez single-handedly knocking out Mourinho out of the Europa today? Has he? I thought they were kicking off at 8 o'clock. Marty, there's an office block somewhere filled with Poindexters paid to research all this nonsense, says Kenneth. Hi Mark, you legend. I bought you a Hell's Lager at the London show. Did you drink it or was it wasted? Honestly appreciate it. No, I drank that, James. Thank you very much. James bought me a beer and sent it backstage. I did drink that. I really wish the predictor... No, I drank it when I was doing all the pictures, actually. It was a can, wasn't it? Yeah, I did drink it, yeah. Hi, Mark. I really wish the predictor was available outside the UK. Much love from North Carolina. Amy, the predictor's fantastic. We've got it for Brighton. I'll have it on the preview tomorrow night. But if you're playing tonight, remember to keep an eye on it. If you still want to play it, you probably have got time. You need to go to the United Stand preview for the Sevilla game and get in the link in the video description. Looking forward to this. Come on, United, says Ian J. White. Thank you very much. Evening, Mark. What's your score prediction for tonight? And who do you think will score? I'm in the mood now. Come on, United, says Jay. I'm massively in the mood. I don't need Kev to get in the mood, if you know. I'm gone 3-1 to Manchester United. I think we'll dominate them. The Premier League Giants badges both feature three-masted ships, an emblem of the city, and more specifically a tribute to the opening of the Manchester Ship Canal in 1894. Let's smash Sevilla, says Declan. And Scholes and Hargreaves on BT giving Anthony high praise. So happy he's finally being appreciated. Raz, good, because I think there's been a lot of people that haven't done that. Jack Strand has just gifted 10 memberships. What a legend you are, Jack. What a legend you are. Really appreciate that. I've got some exciting news for you as well, but we'll just carry on taking your comments for the moment because there's a lot coming in. We will get Eric Ten Hag's latest comments in a minute as well. But you know what? It's flying by, isn't it? Absolutely flying by. Already we've done half an hour talking, which means we're halfway till the start of the match. Can't wait. Absolutely pumped up for this. And Sunday and Thursday. Sevilla tonight, get into the semi-finals. Sunday, get into the final against Man City. And then next Thursday, beat Spurs and solidify top four. It's all to play for. It's all to play for. I'll tell you what else is to play for, though. A nice bit of seamless synergy there. Ryan says, the Redskins and Cleveland Indians were forced to change their name. The same people are going after the Chiefs too, says Ryan Edwards. Yeah, well, people, as somebody said there, people just go looking for stuff, don't they? I mean, some of it's right. You know, as I say, if you've got people who are offended, it's probably going to get changed, isn't it, at the end of the day? But look, let me just say this. Oh, why did it not do it? Oh, I didn't do it. There we go. We're sponsored by Boohoo Man on the stream. That's why I'm wearing my Boohoo Man hoodie, although I wear it a lot of the times when I'm not doing it. I would always advise people to get this Boohoo Man hoodie, by the way. It's just so comfortable. I've slept in it. You know, sometimes I have to force myself out of it. It's got like a lovely fleece lining, which is just really cosy when you've had a bath and stuff. And I really like it, but you can get yours as well. But the great thing about Boohoo Man tonight is, and they've been a regular sponsor of us over the years, and tonight's watch along is sponsored by Boohoo Man. But they're back. They're back. It was missing for a few weeks, but it's back. They're providing the United Stand audience, you, a massive 40% discount when you use the code Goldbridge at checkout. So you can scan the QR code next to me, or you can go through the link in the video description. So if you want to look good in your wardrobe this morning and liven things up, then get yourself a 40% discount at Boohoo Man with the code Goldbridge. Whether you're running, chilling, playing a bit of five-a-side, going down the gym, loads and loads of very well-priced Boohooman items you can get for yourself anyway, but with 40% off, you can really cash in. And as you guys probably know as well, Boohooman always give us a bit of trivia. So today is no different. So let's dive right in, and they've got a good first one here. So these are the clues. You've got to guess the player. I am not Nani is the first one, because someone will always say Nani. I was born on the 5th of December 1995. To date, I have played 188 games for Manchester United. However, I also played 9 games for Sevilla when I went on loan in 2022. For Manchester United, I have won the FA Cup and the Europa League once, and I've won the League Cup twice. I didn't know he'd won it twice. A bit of a clue there that it's a he, obviously. It's a man's game that we're talking about here. Obviously, I should have specified that. We're talking about the men's team. And who am I is the thing. Well, of course, I got it on... I didn't get it until the mention of the Sevilla loan, to be honest with you. I didn't get it off the date of birth. But of course, lots of people in the chat saying it's Anthony Martial. So congratulations to everyone who guessed correctly. And hopefully Martial can have a big night tonight. So a big thank you to Boohooman for supporting today's watch along. Don't forget, you can get a huge 40% off when you use the code Goldbridge at checkout. So what you're waiting for? The weekend is upon us. I always like to buy myself stuff basically Thursday through till Sunday. I'm quite treating myself, you know. I might pop down the shop and buy myself a feast. The king of ice creams is a feast, by the way, but they're not sponsoring us. Boohooman are, and you can get 40% off with the code Goldbridge, or by going through the link in the video description, or by scanning the QR code next to me. Big shout out to that. Thank you very much to Boohooman. Goat Status says, Jack, thank you very much for your super chat. Shocking, my wifey joins for the game. A shout out for Vanny. Please, Mark, for probably it's the beers. Well, at least she's called Vanny with a V. Siva. And Martial says, Jaden, thank you very much. And did you know it was the shipping trade that started the rivalry between Manchester United and Liverpool? I did. I did know that, Glassy, because my granddad told me that years and years ago. Years ago. I always thought the ship on the badge represented the Manchester Ship Canal, as Man City's badge also has it. Come on, United to stand. Yeah, it's Man City and Manchester United who this story's come out about as well. I'm looking forward to the game tonight, says Andrew, and I hope Ericsson and Sabitzer with Casemiro run that midfield and dominate. Great work, United stands, says Andrew. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited, Andrew. I can't speak. I can't speak. Get me that ventilator. No, that's the wrong thing. Get me the get me inhaler. I can't speak. I'm so excited about this tonight. Really, really excited. I hope you are as well, because we don't get many games like this, and I know it's not the level that we want to play at, but you know, it's still really important, and it's still really exciting at this stage of the season. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are as well. And yeah, I've predicted that we'll win 3-1, and I hopefully that's what will happen in the grand scheme of things. I've lost the chat for a minute. Weekend tomorrow as well. I mean, that Brighton game's massive as well. We're blessed. We're blessed with some of the games we've got coming up at the moment. I'm really, really excited about it. Are you worried about Harry Maguire? Seems to be a question that a lot of people are asking. And honestly, I'm not. I'm not worried about Harry Maguire tonight. I do think we over-egged the pudding a little bit. And people might, you know, I can see people spitting their dinner out, or their tea, or their drink, because Goldbridge is going to say something positive about Harry Maguire. But the reality is, I don't think he's completely rubbish. You know, I thought against Forest at the weekend he was a liability. Should have cost us a penalty. Got a yellow card early on, but he recovered. He did okay. I think in his last few games he's done okay. And as long as he does okay, and that's the bar, we should be fine. If he does better than okay, we're quids in. But as long as he does okay, then I think we'll be fine. And you know what? He generally does okay for England, so I don't think we need to worry about European opposition. I think we'll be fine tonight. I don't think Maguire's performance is really going to matter as long as the midfield and the attack do their job. The defence won't be that important. I mean, look, here's a great point about Maguire for you. David De Gea is top of the Golden Glove list, isn't he, in the Premier League at the moment for clean sheets. But I can think of 3 or 4 games where he's had those clean sheets, where he's probably not had a save to make. So in those 4 games, has David De Gea been awesome? No, but he's kept a clean sheet. So I think the same thing works for Maguire. We can keep a clean sheet tonight, and he doesn't even need to have an amazing game. We just you know, we keep the ball and we do all the attacking. Anthony says, today feels like one of those special European nights. We're destined to go all the way. We will win. In Ten Hag we trust, says Anthony. Thank you very much. And love most of your stuff, but stop spreading hate and negativity in the fan base, especially on Maguire. You're wrong. He is better than Lindelof, says Mojo. I mean, Mojo, it's a shame, really, because you've just outed yourself as a complete and utter negative prat liar yourself. And I'm glad I read that afterwards, because I've just spent 2 minutes speaking positively about Maguire, and then you just come on and lie about negativity, which I don't spread negativity. I spread realism. Do I think Maguire's good enough for Man United? No. Am I bothered about him starting tonight? No. You know, for the reasons I've just said. Maguire might not be rubbish, but the game will be decided by how well the team can mitigate the errors he will likely commit, says Stephen. And historically, this country has been based in shipping trade. The shipping and shipbuilding industry built this country. Why should clubs who had no involvement change the badge based on the history of the land they walk, says John. Well, that's sort of what I'm saying, John. You know, you get like, there was a statue in Bristol of somebody that got pulled down a few years ago because he was involved in slavery. Now, that's up to people if they want to do that. But back in those days, the world was very different and things were done that wouldn't happen now. But I just don't agree with, you know, policing things that happened 100 years ago. And that ship on the Manchester United badge doesn't mean slavery to any Man United fan. If it did, take it off. If we were all there going, that ship represents slavery, then you take it off. But nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks that. We're being told this from a story that's over 100 years old. Nobody thinks that's what that ship means. Everybody thinks it's to do with trade, the Manchester Ship Canal. They don't think it's to do with that. So we shouldn't take it off because it doesn't represent the thing that they're telling us it represents. It doesn't. It doesn't at all. You know, my daughter at school, a few years ago, somebody in her class said a racist thing about somebody else in the class, and was talking to my daughter about it afterwards because all the parents got spoken to about it. And she basically said, well, I don't really understand it anyway because, you know, everybody in our class, they're just girls and boys and we're all friends. And I was like, you know, that's today, isn't it? People don't see the issues of the past because they're educated not to. We don't see that ship on that badge as anything negative. It's a Man United badge. All we see is Manchester United, a football club with the word United in it, with a fan base all around the world where everybody is welcome. You know, why try and find something negative that's not there? It doesn't mean what they're telling us it means. Oh, well, it did. That's what it meant. No, it doesn't mean that. Nobody's ever thought it meant that, and nobody sees it as that. So stop messing and meddling in something that nobody's ever spoken about before. And it's like the person said on the Super Chat before. You've got somebody in an office somewhere who goes through everything trying to find something to make something negative. And that's not, you know, it's just... It pisses me off, actually. It really does. Because imagine if the badge actually did get changed. Nobody even has that connotation with it. I'm very excited to see how midfield will go. I love the balance, says Juan. Let's get back on the game. Still going to miss Bruno, but Sabitzer is an upgrade in quality. Well, look, I think you make a good point there, Juan. Welcome to Members Club, Willie. Will we miss Bruno tonight? Obviously, we've not mentioned the captaincy. Arturo, I'm not really going to talk about Wes, really. And do you think that if Ten Hag had started with Ronaldo from the beginning, we would have seen the Ronaldo of last season? Just something that interested me. Look, the Ronaldo story, opposition, welcome to Members Club, Jay, holds. The Ronaldo story, to me, feels like it didn't happen this year. I mean, what a long season it's been. We've had a World Cup. We've had the Ronaldo drama. You know, it's a ridiculously long season when you think about it. And that's why tonight's so important. When you think about this season, we're always thinking about the next season, aren't we? And we're always thinking that, you know, a season goes quite quickly. It doesn't. This season's been going on for bloody ages. It's so important tonight that we get something out of it for all the hard work that's gone in. I'm proud that my people built these ships, says Peter. And I know you're saying the same, had to reinforce it. It bothers me as someone in the shipping insurance world, says John. And loved your That's Football piece on trophy versus title race. Very few came up with that take on media, and it made my change my initial thoughts, says Akash. So I did a video on That's Football today talking about who's had the better season. If Arsenal finish second and we finish third, but we win the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, who's had the better season? And I basically said Arsenal, because they're the better team. And they've actually been in a title race, which is higher than we are. We're not in a title race. But what I really said was, why would we even compare ourselves to Arsenal if somebody's finished first? If we're comparing our season to Arsenal second, that means Man City won a first. Why are we comparing ourselves to Arsenal? And also, you know, trophies are great, but I'll tell you what, anybody who says that we've had a better season than Arsenal if they finish second and we finish third and win a couple of trophies, try finishing fifth with the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup and see what you think. It's only because of the Champions League. It's the Champions League that makes anything we achieve better than Arsenal, if you think that. And you only get the Champions League from winning this trophy or finishing in the top four. If you said to me, would you rather finish second in the league or finish fifth but win the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, I wouldn't even need to breathe to tell you I'd rather finish second in the league. You know, I couldn't give a shit about silverware if we're not in the Champions League, if I'm being honest. That's not my fault. That's the world that the Premier League and the UEFA have created. It's all about the Champions League. That's what it's all about. Ryan says I'd rather win trophies. Well, Ryan, fair play. I don't disrespect you for having that opinion. But if you'd rather finish fifth and win the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup than be in the Champions League, then, you know, fair play. I think I wouldn't. That's not the world we live in anymore. It's about the Champions League. And Ten Hag would agree with me. Most of the players would agree with me. You've got to be in the Champions League. This club's got to be in the Champions League because we need to bring better quality players in. Fifth place and win the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. You're only one trophy away from Wigan, who got relegated having won the FA Cup. You know, it's the Champions League that defines what a good season is. And somebody just said, but we're not going to finish fifth, Mark. That's the point. Well, all right, I'll have a drink of what you're drinking. Anthony says, we ain't fifth though, Mark. Yeah, and Arsenal haven't not won the league either, you prat. So what are you talking about? You're talking out your arse, mate. All it is people want... You're missing the greater point here. Why are we comparing ourselves to Arsenal? What sort of small mentality is this? Why are you even sat there going, ow, 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 like an out-of-control dog, going, ow, 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 ow. Our season's definitely better than Arsenal if they finish second and we finish third and win a couple of trophies. Ow, 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 ow. It's definitely better. Hold on a minute. Couldn't give a shit. If you want to argue in the basement, I'm looking at what Man City have done in first. I don't give a shit about what Arsenal have done. I'm not arguing with Arsenal fans if they finish second and we finish third about who's had the better season. So why are you? Why are you going to waste your breath arguing with Arsenal fans if they finish second and we finish third that we've had a better season than them? Man City are there going, hold my beer. That's what we should be looking at. That's the standards. What argument is that? This is the stupidity of the modern fandom world where some idiot's gone, I know what'll make some good content. Let's have an argument about who will finish. Who's had a better season if Arsenal finish second and Man United finish third with a couple of trophies. What a great video that will be. No, what an idiotic video that will be because somebody's just finished first. It doesn't matter whether you finish second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. You're still the first loser. We have to compare ourselves to the team that finishes first because that's the only way we will progress. And Erik ten Hag will completely agree with that as well. Roma are not out. Whoever said Roma are out, they're not out. They're kicking off at 8 o'clock. They're 1-0 down from the first leg against Feyenoord. The second leg is in Rome. It kicks off at 8 o'clock. What's important is, what do you think Ten Hag would be happy with? He wouldn't be happy with fourth and trophies. My manager says, like, no, Erik ten Hag, if you said to him, who's had the better season, Arsenal or Manchester United, he would say, why are we talking about Arsenal? Manchester City won the league. They've had the best season. That's the only one that matters because they finished first. That's the mentality I'm trying to get across. But people are too... You're obviously the people who watch these shitty little debates because they make no sense to me. They make no sense to me. It's like arguing who had the better season if you finish 8th but you finish 14th and you win a couple of trophies. I don't care. Who finished first? That's where I want to be. We are United. We should be winning all the trophies, says Baggy. And what is more important to you? Prevent City from winning the treble or getting in the Champions League, says Andrew. That's a question. That is a question. I mean, it's not realistic because I think we will finish in the top 4, so we'll be in the Champions League anyway. But if I had the choice between qualifying for the Champions League or not getting the Champions League and stopping a treble, I'm sorry, I'd stop the treble. I would. I'd stop the treble. I would. I think it's more important. In case you're unaware, there's a government alert going out on everyone's phones on Sunday at 3 p.m. You might want to try and disengage the function, especially if you're doing a live stream at that time. It says Robbo at 96. I don't think we kick off till 4:30 on Sunday, but thank you very much. Stephen says it's about the Premier League title and the Champions League, either winning it or qualifying. It's always been about those two because they increase the revenue, says Stephen. Well, 100%. Like, you know, what people don't realise is when I say I'd rather finish in the top 4 than finish 5th and win the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, I respect the fact that people go, oh, I want to win trophies, but I want to win trophies. Like Stephen just said there, I want to win the Premier League and the Champions League. I won't be in the Champions League if I finish 5th and win the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. It's about standards. People go, oh, it's just a weak mentality to want to qualify for the Champions League rather than winning the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. But I can't win the Champions League, which is one of the 2 most prestigious trophies in football, if I don't qualify for it. If you finish 2nd and win nothing, but are in a title race and miss the title by a point, or finish 6th and win the Champions League, what's the better season, says Tariq. You see, we're getting silly now. History belongs to the victors of the Premier Leagues and the Champions League. Let's see what happens with the season. No one cares about domestic trophies, says John. And if Arsenal was miles away from Man City and finished 2nd, then only we have had a better season, says Zach. Can I just say, obviously, there is a place for that type of content, but for me, I just find it completely irrelevant. Maybe it's because I grew up watching United under Sir Alex Ferguson and first place was all that mattered and second place you were a loser. But I don't know why. I don't know why we'd be interested in whether we've had a better season than Arsenal if they finish 2nd. What trophy? What a trophy! What a trophy! We can add that. We can have the treble then, can't we? If we win the Carabao Cup, the Europa League, and then we've got we had a better season than Arsenal trophy. I mean, bloody hell. Talking about trebles, look at Liverpool's season. They basically had to print mugs with their 3 biggest results. Smashed Leeds, smashed Man United, and smashed Bournemouth. What's important is, what do you think? I've done that one. Sheriff says, let's chill and let me ask you a question. If we win Europa League and are in the top 4, how does that affect Champions League selection for next season? It's confusing. What? If we win the Europa League and are in the top 4, we're fine, Sheriff. We'll absolutely be fine. We won't have to do any qualifiers if that's what you mean. Anyway, we're not far away from the start of this match. Top 4 in trophies is way better than Arsenal. No one is talking about finishing 5th, Mark. Calvin, would you shut up? Would you shut up with your small-minded, weak mentality? What are you talking about, Calvin? Take the L. Why are you interested in having... I don't get this mentality. I'm going to draw a line under it and we're going to move on. What trophy are you talking about? Oh, we've had a better season than Arsenal if they finish 2nd. What the fuck? What? Since when did you compare yourself to the team that finished 2nd? What? Why? What moral victory are you gaining from this? Why are you talking about Arsenal? Talk about... Listen to me on this one. The only question is, have Man United had a better team than the team that wins the Premier League? No! And that's all that matters. And that's what we should aspire to do. I'm not interested in lowering the bar to try and justify not winning the title. Our aim has to be in a title race. That's what it's all about. Why are we even debating this? Ten Hag would not answer the question at all because we still have 6 weeks of the season, says Mate. Well, exactly. It's the whole content theme is thick. But obviously some people like it. That's why those sort of things get views. The standard is the Champions League and the Premier League. It's as simple as that, says Rogine. It certainly is. Of course it is. Men says, I'm starting to see why they wouldn't invite you on the overlap. Well, it'd be a better show if they did, but yeah, probably. And I wouldn't be salty about any other channel, mate, because we're bigger and we've got more views. So, you know, I don't look down. That's the whole point. Why would I look down? We're the number one. There's no need to. The thrill of a title race is better than winning a local trophy, says Kai. Yeah, obviously, there's a lot of people that think this is worthy of a debate. I've misread the room. I have apologised. When I did the video on That's Football, I really thought that I'd aimed it right. I've completely missed the target on this. This is actually a debate that a lot of people want to have. Have Man United had a better season than Arsenal if they finish second? I mean, I'll leave you with it. I'll leave you with it. I'm not interested. Let's get back to the game. We've got some comments coming in from Erik ten Hag. That's there's a game of football going on here. Not yet. 10 minutes. So Ten Hag has given us some quotes before the game. Quite a few quotes, actually. He said, whether it's 90 or 120 minutes, we have to qualify for that. We have to play our best football. I mean, that's a good point. We don't want extra time when we've got Brighton on Sunday afternoon. Remember, that could happen. 120 minutes. We really don't want that. Asked about why he leaves the Man United players alone in the dressing room so they can focus, concentrate on their job, but also so they can communicate with each other in the dressing room. Ten Hag on Rashford and Luke Shaw. We can bring them on. And he's also said that I like the Sevilla atmosphere. I get even more hungry and motivated to win. You know something is going on. It's a challenge and I fight. And that is what I think you want as a team and as a player. It's all about silverware at the end of the season. We've fought to get into this position and now we have to get it done. And I was always calm and composed with any player I bring into the 11 because we have a strong squad. There we go. I mean, he hasn't really moved the needle, has he, with those comments? But I think he's very, very focused. Sorry for silence. I was just reading something there that I'm not going to read. Do you reckon Madrid can do it again? If they can, would you be surprised? Also, Madrid or Man United treble team, which team is better? Says Skeleton. I don't know. I don't want to talk about trebles. It makes me feel nervous. Slow Sports News. Mark, here's a bet. If United get to the final, then you let me join you on a joint coverage. But if they don't, then I send you a 24-pack of Peroni. Dream on. Slow Sports News. I'm not letting you bloody come on the show for 24 bottles of Peroni. 24 million bottles of Peroni. Today, we really need Ten Hag to make the correct decision, says DJ. My sports commentator said McTominay has had a fantastic season. Can you call him a prat, says Soccer Genius. Well, he is a prat because he hasn't had a fantastic season. I think Scott McTominay had a decent start to the season when he was keeping Casemiro out of the team until about mid-September. But since then, I don't think he's had a good game. Oh, I gave him a 7 last time out, didn't I? But apart from that, do you think we should start on attack today with that back four plus Rashford not starting? I think we approach it, Shahin, the same way that we approached the Forest game, on the front foot. Thoughts on Gakpo and Darwin Núñez? Says Ajit, I'd take both at United. I'd much rather be in a title race as close as Arsenal and Man City right now than United's situation. It's clear as day who had the better season. Sorry, says John. I think that's a great point by John, and I'm going to leave it there. Would you swap, regardless of how it ends up, would you swap our situation for Arsenal's? Because I would. Of course I would. They've got a chance of winning the league. I'd rather win the league than win the Europa League, the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. So I would swap our position for Arsenal's right now, yeah. And if you wouldn't, you're a coward. Because you're like, oh, we might get beat by Man City and not win the league, and then I'd rather have a Carabao Cup. No. I would love to be in Arsenal's position. That's what we're aiming to be in. And I think we can if we can get rid of these owners. What do you think the Premier League Hall of Fame snubbing the most decorated player? He didn't break the law. George Best did worse, and he's revered pandering to the court of public opinion, says Cal. I think we're talking about Ryan Giggs here, aren't we? But there's another player as well that's been ignored by the Premier League Hall of Fame. I think Matt Le Tissier has been ignored as well. I don't actually have a comment on this because really I can see both sides, and my opinion is that I just think it's the world we live in. There is absolutely no way they're going to put Ryan Giggs in the Premier League Hall of Fame until he's been found completely not guilty. You know, he should be in the Premier League Hall of Fame. Of course he would be. If he didn't have what's going on in his private life, he would be in there. Of course he would. He's the most decorated. He's made Man United's most appearances. Of course he should be in there. The thing is, I suppose the way of twisting it round is if he got found guilty and went to prison for a year, he never goes in the Premier League Hall of Fame. But what about when he's come out and he's served his time? So what about rehabilitation? So he's got to go in there whether he's guilty or not at some point. So you're just delaying the decision because you can't keep him out there. You can't keep him out of the Premier League Hall of Fame when he should be in there. If he gets found guilty and he has to go to prison, which I'm not saying he will, when he comes out and he's rehabilitated and he's served his time, he's got to go in the Premier League Hall of Fame. You can't bin him off just because of that. I meant for the rest of the Premier League clubs, we get 4 and win Europa League, then Champions League selection would be top 5 for next season, says Sheriff. I don't know how it works, Sheriff. Most important thing for me this season under Erik ten Hag was to see a clear playing style. If Erik can do this well with Jose and Ollie signings, imagine what he can do with a full team, says Juan. Ollie, thank you very much for joining the Members Club. Mark, is it stupid to say Casemiro midfield is the best thing we've had since Roy Keane, says Matt. No, it isn't stupid. I think you're absolutely spot on. I got asked a question about what did I get asked? I got asked a question on the tour whether I would keep Casemiro or bring back Roy Keane, and I said, well, you obviously didn't watch Roy Keane because as good as Casemiro is, Roy Keane was better. But you know, Casemiro is brilliant, and we just don't have a player like him, which is what we need to look at in the summer. Because he's been absolutely incredible for us. Don't forget, we're sponsored by Boohoo Man tonight. I'm wearing my Boohoo Man hoodie. Very relaxing, very comfortable. I feel very comfortable in it at the moment. Hopefully that can continue for the whole night. But they're back. They're back with a 40% discount for you with the Boohoo Man. You can scan the QR code or you can go through the link in the description. Look at that atmosphere. Look at that atmosphere. Toilet roll everywhere. It's a good job it's not COVID. I'd have been running round getting Adam to pick it all up. Look at the atmosphere here. Oh my God. Look at it. Mentality is key, says Henrik. Strong mentality win. Thank you very much, mate. That is an atmosphere, that is. Hi, Mark. I love listening to your shows, and it's really helped me in my life and makes me more passionate. Thank you very much, Govind. Hope you're doing well. We're Manchester United. Now have the owners lowered... How have the owners lowered fans' expectations so much? That's half the problem. They've lowered the standards so much. It's almost indoctrinated, says John. To answer his question, it is top 4 no matter what for Champions League. Only was 5th makes it. Is it winning the Europa League, says Hunter. Important start well and silence the crowd, says Rory. And winning the Europa and finishing top 4 does not give the Premier League another slot in the Champions League, says Threefold Path. I'm glad somebody understood it because I didn't. What an atmosphere. What an atmosphere this is. It's incredible. Hi, Mark. Varane and Martinez are out. Slow Sports News there. Thank you very much for telling us. We are 2 minutes away from the start of this game. The atmosphere looks incredible. Very excited about it. What an atmosphere. I love a party with a match. Okay. It's an insane crowd. I do not understand why people want to play better football than a certain team rather than playing best football and being top of the league, says Drub. Thank you very much, Drub. Thanks for all your super chats, by the way. You can do that through the $sign. We're about ready to go here. Oh, that's what I was going to check on my phone. The time is nearly 8 o'clock, which means we're really nearly ready to start the game. I've played the game. I've not played a game like this. What a game it's going to be. Can't wait. Say hello, says James. Very confident tonight. Hope you are well, says John. I'm with you, mate. I'm very confident. We are only 200 subscribers away from 633,000. So please click that button in that bottom right-hand corner and subscribe. Let's see if we can hit 633,000 before the start of the game, which is about to kick off. The United Stand, live every morning at 10 o'clock, live every night at 8 o'clock, and everything in between. Watch-alongs the lot. What a game. What a game to be at. What a game to be watching. What a time. For Manchester United. This is a massive game for us and our season. Let's go get it, people. Let's go get this result. Been ready for this. These next few games, can't wait. Brighton on Sunday, FA Cup semi-final, and Sevilla tonight. One thing that we have benefited from, actually, is the away goal rule. I mean, I wasn't sure whether I'd be happy about that. Sevilla fans love the Europa League, don't they? Akash says. I wasn't sure whether I wanted the... Oh, someone's just fell down off their chair there. What an unfortunate time to go to the cameras. But I wasn't sure that I liked the removal of the away goals rule. But actually, in this circumstance, it really massively helps us, doesn't it? Because Sevilla getting 2 away goals, if this had finished 1-1, we'd be out, or 0-0. So actually, it benefits us. Kyle says something about Adam picking up after Mark's dog. I don't know what that means. I don't know whether it's meant to be funny or offensive. But yeah, thanks everyone who subscribed, by the way. We're getting really close to 633,000. The time is about to kick in here. We've got the match stats for you that are update as well. Let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. Referee, put your whistle in your mouth. Bit of a weird combination kit for Manchester United tonight. Black shorts and white socks tonight. And we're off. There we go. Breathe the pressure. Would you rather win the league or win the Carabao, FA and Europa? Micah, are you having a laugh? The league. If Cassie gets a yellow, he will miss the next match, says Lifestyle Tube. He seems to be constantly suspended, doesn't he? Wishing for a solid performance here, says Aaron Fitz. Sevilla on the attack. An early corner for them. The crowd's up for it. Would you rather win... Oh, no, I'm not doing these stupid questions anymore. Wishing for a solid performance, says Aaron. We've done that one. Thank you very much. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. I'm going 3-1 to Manchester United. I have a crap commentator. He does falsetto when someone shoots, says Kenneth. Well, they're pressing high up the pitch here, Sevilla. And for Manchester United, that means we're going to have to play through the press very offensively. Aaron's just gifted 5 memberships. You're a legend, Aaron. Thank you very much for doing that. It's very early days here. Wan-Bissaka does well. But Sevilla, they're going to be a different prospect, aren't they? It was very hard to... It's always very hard to totally predict what's going to happen because obviously they've got the home advantage. Martial to score first, Mark, says John. Well, here we go. Jadon Sancho, bit of space. Terrible ball. That's gone for a goal kick. Great atmosphere, though. Fantastic atmosphere. You can't deny that. Severe atmosphere is crazy. Old Trafford, take note, says Dizzy. You want a South versus North All-Star game? Love from US, says Nana. I need a stretch. That's what I need. What's the gum shield for, Mark? Hope not for stress, says Mank. Yeah. I put it in for the match. Don't forget, Boohoo Man. Scan the QR code, link in the description. 40% off with the code Goldbridge. Get your clothing from Boohoo Man. Some fantastic stuff in there. Don't know what's wrong with Maguire there. Won the header. Bayer Leverkusen are winning 1-0 apparently, according to Jay Ant. He's won a free kick as well. Yeah, I don't care about Bayer Leverkusen either. They're on the other side of the draw. I mean, Roma's interesting in a way. No, Juventus game's interesting in a way, but we've got to do the damage here. And strong defending there. And Sabitzer, he got very strongly armed into the side of the pitch. I'm going to watch. See you at half time. So Slow Sports News. Harry Maguire's over there. Look. Let's have a look what happened here. He definitely gave Sabitzer a little bit of a shove. Was he booked in for it? He's down Sabitzer, banged his head. Markow for them. thanks for subscribing. I personally don't think it was a yellow card. I think it was just a strong I'm here first couple of minutes shoulder barge, but unfortunately he's launched him into the drinks carrier, so it's quite dangerous. But I don't think it was a yellow card. Be a red card for Casemiro. Yeah. I don't think he gave a yellow. Anyway, free kick to Man United. Eriksen with the cross. Remember, we've got people in the air. Ooh, I tell you what. Bono with slippery hands. Good cover by Anthony. Kicks it back to De Gea. We have to play to the whistle today. These lot will bring all the dark arts, says Kay. Concentration is key. Thank you very much. Eriksen's cross. And Bono punched it. He could have punched it into the bloody defender there. Bono! Lots of people saying it should have been a yellow. Good play by Maguire. Casemiro goes long. Way too long. Way too long. Just need to settle in this game a little bit, Manchester United. Settle down a little bit. Settle down. Sevilla definitely setting up with a high press. Didn't do it at Old Trafford. Definitely doing it here. Here's Sancho. We've got to use the ball well when we get it. We're sort of being pushed back a lot. I don't like the ball around Lindelof and Maguire. We've got to go forward better. Lovely ball by Casemiro there into Sabitzer. Wide to Anthony. This is better. Back into Sabitzer. Poor pass. Poor pass. Mark, do you agree that Roy Keane is completely disrespected by official Man United, our greatest captain? He's barely acknowledged, says Andrew Kelly. It's because he fell out with Sir Alex, isn't it? Here's Anthony. Nice little ball out wide. And Sancho has had a couple of bad touches in the first few minutes, Sancho. Just needs to settle himself. Nisika says Sevilla are executing the high press very well. Yeah, I mean it's not. We didn't see any of that at Old Trafford. They obviously played the tie as the away team, didn't they? They sat a lot deeper, but here they're playing with more aggression. Go back to the Gea, Maguire. Go on, that's the one. That's the one. Options. Oh. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's one of those. I mean, some people are going to blame De Gea. I need to see this again. If you're playing out from the back, I don't know what De Gea does wrong here. And I think this is going to be a real divisive one where I need to see it again. But if we want to play out from the back, my first thought is, what's wrong with this ball from De Gea? Nothing. There's nothing wrong with that ball from De Gea. There's nothing wrong with that ball from De Gea. If you're playing out from the back, there's nothing wrong with it. That's just that's on Maguire from me. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I'm almost in shock. I can't speak. I'm almost in shock. I'm almost in shock with that because I wanted to see it again. I think a lot of people will overreact and go, Maguire, sell him, this, that and the other. But I did want to give him the benefit of the doubt because, you know, De Gea, I think unfairly, gets a lot of criticism about his distribution. And I just wanted to give the benefit of the doubt and see it again. People will say it's a hospital pass by De Gea, but you're a hypocrite because you want him to pass out from the back and not boot it long. Sevilla have instigated the high press really, really well. So do you want De Gea to just blast it or do you want to try and play through the press? If you're going to play through the press, you've got to play passes that are confident and with an element of risk. So I think De Gea plays a fine pass into Maguire and he is going to get pressed, has got to do better with it. Now, people will go, oh, Maguire, you're going to get the hypocrites here because people are going to go, De Gea shouldn't have played that pass. And it'll be the same people who say, oh, he's always booting it long. So I feel that any criticism against De Gea is completely unfair because it's hypocritical. Because if he blasts that and the halfway line centre-back wins it for Sevilla, people are going, oh, he can't play out from the back. Ederson would play that pass to Maguire like that. It's well weighted, and then John Stones would either give it back to Ederson or flick it over to Wan-Bissaka, or even better, you know, do the dummy and take it away. So I don't put the blame on De Gea. It's a risky pass, but is that not what we want to do? We want to pass out from the back, and that's the only pass that was on. So I think it's completely on Maguire there, I'm afraid. Maguire has the entire midfield to turn into. Unfortunately, he's always unaware of his surroundings, says Thomas. What an absolute shambles Harry Maguire is, says Oliver. Maguire also called for the ball, says Akash. Well, I didn't see that, but if he called for it, then that's even worse. Maguire asks for the ball to be played back to him, says Dan. Well, there you go. Maguire is a shambles for that, but Dave is stupid because he knows he's a shambles, so why pass to him? But you can't say that. James, you can't say that. Sorry, thank you. Manan says he asked for it as well. You cannot say to De Gea, don't pass to Maguire. Otherwise, there's no point in being on the pitch. Maguire could have just passed it back to De Gea, says Adere Riho. He called for the ball. Sevilla will now dive for the rest of the game. This is going to be hard, says Clinton. Team is not looking confident. Need to take off Maguire for sure. I don't know why he's starting. Makes no sense, says V. Look, I actually feel sorry for Maguire there. I know people will be tuning in expecting me to go, I can't speak! I can't speak! He's bloody rubbish! Who's worse, Upamecano or Maguire? But I actually feel sorry for him there because I don't. It's not a surprise to me. It's not a surprise to me, and I think it won't be a surprise to many other people. Like I said it before the game. Just needed him to play okay. Just play okay tonight and don't make a mistake. And you know, within the first 10 minutes, he makes a mistake. He called for the ball and never came to it, says Jordan. Team is not looking confident. Need to take off Maguire. I've done that from V. And hi, Mark. Maguire makes me absolutely sick. Completely tired of seeing these idiotic mistakes. Well, Sancho's had a bad start as well. Everybody's had a bad start. I did say before the game, how much will we miss Bruno Fernandes? We've looked a shadow of ourselves. We look nothing like what we did against Forest here. Terrible start to the game. I've had it with the so-called captain screaming for the ball to do that. Useless, says Omri. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, we were very close to 633,000. Manchester United have started terribly here. The atmosphere in Sevilla is fantastic. And we've gifted them, literally gifted them a goal. Forget, sell him, release him. He's a liability, says Peter. Well, it'd be interesting to see what the pundits say. Because, as we know, the pundits love Harry Maguire and don't like De Gea. So it'll be interesting to see what they say. But if he shouts for the ball, it's as much De Gea's fault as Maguire, but you won't hear that, says Sean. Oh, fuck off. Sean, you're talking absolute shite. Have you ever played the game? Absolute nonsense. And I'm not even talking about high level. I'm talking five-a-side. If you're in goal at five-a-side, your centre-back passes it to you and then says, give it me back, I'll be criticised if I ignore him. Talking absolute shite. I mean, but you know what? The De Gea haters will blame it on De Gea, But if he booted it long, they'd have said, this is why we need a goalkeeper. This is why we need a ball-playing goalkeeper. You can't lose. I mean, you can't win. We can't lose our head, says Akash. And Maguire called for the ball, says Naz. We messed up at home and didn't perform away days, says Enjoy. Right. I mean, I would like to see it again. Harry Maguire playing like he's rolled up on a Sunday to play for the local team, says Matthew. So it was Eriksen's fault against Brentford too, says Sean Thornton. I'm not talking about Brentford, mate. That was at the start of the season. I can't even remember the goal you're on about. It's painful watching our team helping the opposition score, says Jessica. English bias in punditry again. Free kick straight into the wall. Sevilla have started off very well here, and we don't look anywhere near the level that we should be looking at. Without Bruno influence on the field, the team looks like it's lacking confidence. I did worry about that, and that's why I mentioned it at the start of the game. I did worry about the lack of Bruno Fernandes in this team. Some people just don't seem to understand his influence. I'm sorry, that's... Tyron, I'm not reading out your comments, it's shit. Torren, thank you very much for your super chat. Why not play Lindelof and Shaw? 100% that would not happen. Neither as flat-footed as Maguire. And without Bruno, I've done that one as well. Essentially, 3 own goals and 2 were Maguire's fault. Unbelievable, says Billy. Yeah, I'm not talking about... if you're going to do super chats blaming it on De Gea, I'm not going to read it out. Because it doesn't make any sense. EG, thank you very much. Even if you think it's a bad pass... Maguire fucks it up. Like, Maguire didn't need to pass it to a Sevilla player. Even if I received that ball from De Gea and I don't think it's a good pass, I've still got 1,000,001 options. Boot it out for a goal kick. You know, boot it out for a goal kick. Spin and turn. Actually play the pass properly to Wan-Bissaka. Pass it back to De Gea. Loads and loads of ways to prevent that goal, even if you think De Gea played a bad pass, which I don't. Still confident we win this. We needed to score at the start of the game. This hasn't changed now, says Bobby. And Maguire sabotaging our season, says Magic. And even if it were De Gea's fault, why does these things only happen when Maguire's around? Well, it's not De Gea's fault anyway, Davin. Like I say, even if you want to blame him for the pass, the goal's still completely preventable. It's not like he's smacked it at Maguire's face. It's a ball to feet. There's 1,000,001 things he can do to stop that turning into a goal. I've just heard commentary saying, what world should you pass to centre-half in that situation? Said he would have booted it or passed it to Wan-Bissaka, says Jay. Who's the commentator, Jay? Maguire out, says Saul. Because if it's Robbie Savage, he's mates with Harry Maguire. So, you know, we're talking about mates rates here. Sevilla will get tired, says Joshua. Maguire out, says Saul. Maguire will single-handedly be the reason we lose European football, says Meech. Fred should be in the game for his energy, says Desmond. We're just not getting at... I mean, look, forget the score for a minute. We're playing shit. Like, the goal's happened. We've got to move on from it, regardless of what you think, what your thoughts are. We're 1-0 down. But we're just passing it around the back four. We're not... Anthony, again, back to Maguire. There's nothing going on. We just can't get up the pitch. They're at our back four within seconds. The only possession we're having is around the back four. Just shows you how much we miss Bruno, doesn't it? We came back against Barca, says Ronnie. It amazes me how Lindelof has to act as our leader, says Mario. We can't trust our captain. It's baffling. Well, we'll see it again at half time. There's no point talking about it. Jay says, I think it was Savage. All he needed to do was scan. Daft, says Obam. All he had to do was pass it back to De Gea. Playing out from the back requires a brain. If Dave got the ball back, Wan-Bissaka was in so much space, as Sharath Math Fitness. All Harry had to do was let the ball roll and he was away in space, says Andrew. Look, I don't know what people's level of football is, but you know, if you're lucky enough to play at the highest level, that's great and well done. But you can still play football on a Saturday afternoon and receive a ball and have to scan. You can, if you play five-a-side, you've got to scan even more. And I'm sure many of you have played five-a-side. If any other goalkeeper plays that pass, it's centre-back's fault, says Jack. If Harry had a little awareness, he could have let the ball roll past him and turn. Basically, the mistake that Maguire's made there is the mistake that you could make in five-a-side, I could make playing on Sunday morning. When I ask for that ball from De Gea, which is what Maguire's done, I have to do this. I've got to know what's around me. Otherwise, I shouldn't ask for the ball because I'm playing with my back to goal. If I ask for the ball and then I'm in trouble, it's my fault. He's got to scan. He doesn't scan. He goes for the most risky pass as well. The best option, he's got 4 options that I can see. He asks for the ball. He scans, goes shit and passes it back to De Gea. He asks for the ball, he scans, and he goes body swerve and turns back into the space. Probably harder for him to do that. That's option 2. Option 3, he scans, he gets the ball, he goes, oh, fucking hell, and boots it for a corner. Or, option 4, he tries the hardest option to try and pass to Wan-Bissaka, which was on, but he completely scuffs it. Philip says, 100% Maguire's fault. He should know he can't turn into space. Irish commentary slating Maguire, says Philip. Wish Savage would close his gob. United rejects, says Alan Noonan. Sevilla is flooding our midfield, says Bruce. Well, they did. They played a 4-5-1, Bruce. You're absolutely spot on. And we're just getting dominated here. Maguire should be sold. It can't get better for him, even if he improves, says GP. You could clearly see Maguire asking for the ball, and somehow people are blaming De Gea. Here we go, Wan-Bissaka! Oh, what a rubbish shot, Aaron. I mean, you are a right back. I'll let you off. Al can't believe people are blaming De Gea. Mark, I secretly want us out of the Europa League so we can focus on top 4 in the FA Cup, says Cork. And Twansebi or Bailly could not do a worse job than Maguire, says Pablo. Very disappointing start, says Sabre. Well, beyond the goal, Sevilla have been the better side. We've got to step up here. Here's Jadon Sancho on the right-hand side. He's had a bit of a shaky start himself. Terrible pass again. Ericsson makes something out of it. Finally, Savage says Maguire shouldn't be calling for it if he isn't scanning, says Chris. And is there still any players left from the Jose era, says Daniel. Thank you very much. Well, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone in the chat because, you know, I sympathise with Robbie Savage if he's commentating and he's finally come round to that. Because when I was watching it, many of you told me that he asked for the ball. I didn't know he'd done that. So I still blame Maguire anyway because I think the pass, even if he didn't want the ball, he shouldn't let that happen. But if he asked for it, even worse. Dumb to ask for the ball, dumb to give it, says Shane. No, I don't think it's dumb to give it. I watch Liverpool and Man City and Bayern, and the way they play out from the back with their goalkeeper, they play passes like that all the time. You know, this is what I mean. This is what I mean about being hypocritical. You know, there's all these people who do all these moaning about De Gea, and we need a goalkeeper who can pass out from the back. And yet, if you watch Alisson, Ederson, Sommer at Bayern Munich, they'd play that pass. but the centre-back would play it nicely to Wan-Bissaka, and we'd all be going, that's brilliant, under pressure, passing out from the back. There's nothing wrong with the pass. It's risky, but that's how you play out from the back. That's how you play through a press. There's nothing wrong with the pass. People are going in on it because there's an element of risk. But it's what Alisson does at Liverpool. It's what Ederson does at Man City. That's how you do it. Not every pass out from the back is an easy 20-yard pass to your right back. That's how you play out through a press. So I don't think there was anything wrong with the De Gea pass. It was risky, but that's what goalkeepers do if you want to play like that. And then you do it and it goes wrong and people are going, oh, now we should just blast it, which is what he gets criticised for. Come on, United, we can do it, says Vincent. It's a terrible start. We're not playing very well at all. Angry Brit has just gifted 10 memberships. Thank you very much, mate. Please do subscribe to the channel. Get involved with the United Stand. Let's be fair, it's only because he can't pass forward, sideways or back, which leads me back to the drinking game, says Obium. He has to take the blame after the game if he's asked about it, says Barry. Well, there's a long way to go yet. He's not taking any responsibility, only slow, sideways passing, says Dan. Well, it's another free kick here for Sevilla to whip in from Rakitic. Absolutely disgusting how commentators are putting the blame on De Gea, says Chris. Well, mate, this is why things like the United Stand and other fan-led communities exist. Because you are being fed shit from the mainstream media, and you have been fed shit for years. These people are mates with certain people, and they protect them on national TV. It's a fucking joke. Or even worse, they don't know what they're on about. If that pass had gone into Martinez, it'd still be 0-0. He'd have flicked it out to Dalot, or he'd have took a body turn. No problem. It's nearly 2-0 here. I don't know what goes on here. I'd love to see this again. Cross comes in, headed across the 6-yard box. Looks like it's going to be a tap-in. I think De Gea actually... What a cross. Lindelof gets beat in the air, and I think De Gea actually just punches it out the way. Young Don doesn't want Sancho on the pitch. Ten Hag has to make some changes. We haven't even got close yet, says Stuart. I completely agree, Stuart. It's, regardless of the goal, they've been the better side, and it's 2-2. We didn't come into this game winning. 2-2. It's a draw. We've got to try and score. Well, I look forward to half-time so we can watch it again. We've got a player down injured here. Guess who thinks it's De Gea's fault? Beth. I'm okay with this being 1-0. Hint, says Mutterson. And Uber Melon, hello, how you doing, mate? Says, passing out from the back is to draw the press and create gaps. Maguire has never been able to do that because he isn't quick in thought or action, says Uber Melon. Absurdly shit, says Log the Jog. I'm live on the stream, so I can't type, but I'm telling you now, you're talking shit. If that's Martinez, easy ball. Ederson, Alisson, Sommer at Bayern Munich, that's how you play out from a press. You've got to take a risky pass to play through it. There's nothing wrong with the pass. Maguire is shit. He doesn't scan. He doesn't see the danger. People think that a goalkeeper has to play a 20-yard pass to nobody there. If you're playing against a team that's pressing high up the pitch, you take risks. Bayern do it all the time. There's nothing wrong with the pass. I'm not having it that, oh, he should have seen there was 3 defenders around him. So you're telling me that every goalkeeper, when the defender's got three players around him, he's not going to do it. Ederson does it all the time. Alisson does it all the time. There's nothing wrong with the pass. It's the Pratt who receives the pass who doesn't scan. I mean, if he boots that long, everyone's going, oh, De Gea's booting it long. There's nothing wrong with it. I've just put that into the group chat because the fucking idiots haven't got a bloody clue. Got no idea what they're talking about. So every ball playing goalkeeper I've ever watched only ever passes the ball on the ground when the defender's got no one near them. I mean, the hypocrisy is terrifying. I literally see Alisson and Ederson every bloody game passing the ball to their centre-back who's got players near them, because that's how you draw a press. That's literally how you draw a press. You know, you're not drawing a press if you play it to somebody that's unmarked. That's the whole bloody point. But beyond that, we're playing shit. Maguire drags all our team back and keeps us pinned in our half, says SK. It's amazing how we can predict how we will play by the centre-back pairing regardless of the rest of the team and even the manager, says Alexander. I think you're right, but your argument was on a false equivalency. People, not me, say De Gea plays it long because he can't play it short with quality, says The Strange Life. But there's nothing wrong with that pass, Strange Life podcast. That's what I'm saying. Jawad says you're going too easy on Maguire. That was absolutely shocking. Well, I'm waiting to see it at half time because, to be honest with you, I was stunned. I'm in shock. The only reason Maguire is still at the club. I mean, stay tuned at half time because I will get to analyse it and with real analysis. But I just think, as many people have said, if Martinez receives that pass, it's still 0-0, and we're not even talking about it. The only reason Maguire's here is because he's English, says Christopher. I get the point, but those keepers have better defenders than Harry Maguire, so they can't trust them in those situations, says Solar. But you know what? I have sympathy with De Gea there because he gets asked for the ball and we want to play out from the back. So if he boots that long, that gets clipped up by the De Gea haters club who go, Maguire's even asking for it and he's still booting it long. This is why we need a ball-playing centre-back. That was my point. Like, the hypocrisy is ridiculous. The pass was fine. Maguire asked for it. He messed up. If De Gea boots it long, it is still 0-0, but he would get criticised for booting it long when the centre-backs asked for it. Ollie says that the commentators are asking why Maguire was given it in the first place. Probably because we want to play out from the back, and also probably because he asked for it. Shaw for Maguire and Rashford for Sancho, says Vincent. Sancho's not having a good game. You know, we've got to focus. We're 1-0 down. The goal's in. We'll talk about it at half-time. It's only 15 minutes away. But let's talk about the general play. We are missing Bruno massively. I've watched United for more than 25 years. Maguire is the worst defender ever at this club, says William. De Gea plays those balls to Varane all the time, but somehow he deals with it better every time, says Sky. And there's a video on Twitter of the same exact situation with Martinez, and he deals with it fine. Because we've been doing it all season, Gwydion. That's the point. It's not the first time we've done that. We have done that a lot. And I can't overemphasise the point that I've seen Ederson pass the same ball to John Stones and Diaz and Akanji and Aki numerous times this season, and they deal with it. It's almost... Pep loves it, because if you play through that, if you do it properly, you've took 3 players out of the game. You see, it's really difficult because some people watch football at a certain level and some people don't. I've done a bit of coaching. Some of you probably haven't done coaching, but you still can see what I'm about to say. The risk of that pass is the brilliance of it, because if you play through that press, you've took 3 Sevilla players out. That's exactly why Pep Guardiola would want Ederson to play that pass, because he'd be like, pass it into John Stones, he won't mess it up, and you'll take 3 of their players out, which means straight away 3 white shirts are out of the game, and then you've got space to play into. That's why you do that. That's why you play out from the back in those circumstances, because the rewards should outweigh the risk if you've got people who can receive it. That's why you do it. But you've got people who don't understand it going, oh, you should never play that pass. You should never play that pass. You should boot it to the halfway line and give up possession again. No, that's not what you should do. You should play the pass, because then you play through the press and then you've took them out of the game. But some people just don't understand that. Has Sancho actually had a good game in the last 2.5 years? Says Connor. Sancho's getting a bit. All of our success this season has been predicted on an extremely strong defence and built on a strong defence. It's very weak today, says Alec. And David was asked for the ball by his captain. Definitely Maguire's fault, says Football United. Look, I'm moving past whose fault it was. What I'm saying is that I think the pass was the right thing to do. Good cross into the box, but it's too high for Casemiro. We just need that one goal. We need that one goal. Thanks, everyone. Well, look, Beth will be on the fan forum later, so, you know, let's hope we're talking about winning the game and not that. The point of playing out from the back is to create space with the pass, which is risky. Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been let down by Maguire. You can see Wan-Bissaka's hesitation too, says SK. Look, ultimately, I think what we can all agree on, because the ball's out of play, is we don't have the players in that defence to pass out from the back. Whether it's the goalkeeper, the centre-back, the right-back, you know, we don't have the players that can do it. You know, Varane can do it, Martinez can do it, I believe Dalot can do it. Do you really trust the others to do it? Mark, explain to me how a centre-back like Maguire manages to a club like Man United and gets the captain's armband, and it seems even Erik ten Hag is unwilling to address it, says Shoah. Well, he hasn't got... No, look, I ain't got no problem with Maguire starting this game. Luke Shaw's clearly not fit enough to start, so who else are you going to play? We haven't got any other centre-backs. There's literally no one else. Anthony isn't the only one trying, says Fred. How bad is this team? We can't even weave 4 passes before losing it. Am I watching Yeovil? Says Tushar. We are struggling here. We are struggling. Give me 1 minute. Not even a minute. Not even a minute. Oh, it's 1-1. Great. Oh, it's great news. It's 1-1. I wish it was bloody 1-1. It's not 1-1. It's not 1-1. Bloody hell. Pranav, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Here's Anthony. Still 8 minutes to go till half time. Football, bloody hell. Football, bloody hell is right. You know, I haven't popped to the. You know, I've not popped. You know what I've gone to do. Use your ears. Yeah, I was really excited about this game. What's Maguire doing? He's out of position. Get back, Harry. It's on a bloody wander. Fucking hell, where's he going? He's meant to be playing in the midfield. He's meant to be playing centre back. Ronnie Pickering. Dreadful half of football from Manchester United. I mean, this is the thing about football, isn't it? You look forward to this all week. Been really excited about this game. And Sunday. We played like this against Brighton. We'll get battered, by the way. You look forward to it all week. And then we've just not delivered. I think this is a prime example of how important Bruno is. We're just not the same team, are we? Oh, here we go. Sabitzer. Come on, have a look. Oh, nearly found Martial. Nearly find Martial. Can we see the stats? Oh, someone should have told me that a long time ago. Sorry about that. It's been stuck on Sevilla for ages. I mean, possession-wise is okay. I mean, the stats don't read as domineering as it has been. I think we've had a lot of possession. Here we go. They're back in again. Good block by Lindelof. Somebody switched on. Yeah, those stats didn't read too badly, really. As a former keeper myself, De Gea should be screaming for Maguire to turn. He has the best view on the pitch. Simple, says Nathan. Our game has always suffered with Maguire because no one trusts him, so they keep more defensive positions, says Berry. Well, you saw what Anthony did in the celebration, didn't you? People who say we won't ever win the league with Bruno will be eating their words. There's no authority, says Vita. I knew we were going to miss Bruno. I knew it. From the off, Maguire took too long to pass the ball back and allowed the press to get him to De Gea, says Biggie Third. We've got to be careful we're not 2-0 down here. No Phil Jones, no party, says Ryan. And it is 2-0. I bloody called it, didn't I? It's fucking over. You're having a fucking laugh. You absolute pricks. What a joke. What a fucking joke. Sevilla. Bloody Sevilla. I said it. They're not even that good. Oh, they used to be so good. It's their trophy. It's their trophy. That was years ago. That was Princess Leia from Return of the Jedi. They're bloody Princess Leia from Force Awakens now. They used to be good. Nobody's interested in them anymore. Rubbish. Absolute shite. Who plays that pass? Where's the defence? What's going on here? He's offside. Thank fuck for that. Thank fuck for that, because that's just terrible defending. Maguire's, it's not his fault. Where's the midfield? Oh, I can't believe it. Absolute shite. He's got to be offside in the build-up. He's got to be offside in the build-up, because if he's not, we're off. We're out. Forget about it. Maguire's having a chat with the ref. This could be pivotal in this game. He thinks he's off. Maguire doesn't even look interested. He's the captain of the club. We could be 2-0 down, and he stood like he's in the queue for fucking Tesco. He should be getting the players up. Stood there like this. Oh, will it be off or not? Oh, good bloody captain of the team. Sort it out. I can't speak. I don't give a shit if it's off. Well, I don't want it to be offside, but what I'm saying is just stood there. You're the fucking captain. Get a bloody grip. Offside. Bloody get in. We needed that. Phil Jones doesn't let that past him, says Ryan. But the funny thing is, I was just saying it just before it went in. I did literally just say it just before it went in. He's only just offside as well. Stephen says, how do you think we'd boss this game? Oh, mate, come on. Have a word. Take Maguire off at half-time. Seen enough. I don't think we can, Andrew, because I very much doubt Luke Shaw's able to play. Maguire said he was on, says Magic. Why did Maguire stay low when all the defenders moved up? Thankfully offside, says SK. Cross into the box. Take a touch, Tony. Oh, blocked. Oh, we've got Rashford and Sancho. Rashford and... oh, my God. Who's gone down there? I think it's Sancho. Didn't look a penalty to me, but let's scream for one. They're on the break now. 2v2. Someone look after Maguire. Someone help Harry. Where's the bloody defence? Luke says we should have left Maguire at the airport. Cross comes in. Ah! Get out! Get it out. AC Milan. AC Milan are a much better side than Man United. Make it make sense. It's bad here. Why did Maguire... I just don't get what's going on here with United. I really don't. Yeah, it's not a penalty. He gets the ball. He gets the ball. I mean, I'd love a penalty, but he gets the ball. He catches him, but he took the ball way before it. I didn't even realise Sancho was playing, says Sumi. When do we blame Ten Hag? He hasn't made a change. He's played Maguire again and again after this terrible performance, says Stuart. Don't forget, the guy's got nothing to prove, says Arj. Can I just say, if Luke Shaw's not fit to start, you can't moan about Maguire starting. You can moan about the mistake and you can say that he's not good enough to be at Man United, but that's a summer problem. Like, there is no other centre-back on the bench. Like, if Luke Shaw can't start, there is no other centre-back. Well, do you think we're scoring 2 goals and not conceding another? Not at this rate. Well, we've got to completely change it in the second half, Yakov. We're going out at the moment, and deservedly so. Sevilla have played really, really well. Take off Sancho and put Fred in the midfield, says Ari. Yeah, the midfield's just not worked. We're getting dominated in the midfield. It's shocking. We're so different without Varane and Martinez, says Ryan. We've got to buy a top-class centre-back. Casemiro looking lazy. His fault for that movement. Doesn't even track back, says Richard. I don't know what's wrong with Casemiro. It's the whole team. Just goes to show how much this midfield relies on Bruno, says Ryan. Another free kick for Sevilla here. We're nearly at half-time. Manchester United really struggling. We've been definitely second best here. Another cross into the box. Maguire heads it away. That's what he can do. Please subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, get involved with the United stand. Love to be a fly in the dressing room at half-time, says Alan Noonan. Eriksen is a hologram in midfield, says HW. Well, yeah, well, you know, I agree. There's nothing... I like Eriksen. I like Casemiro. I like Sabitzer. I like Sancho. I like Martial. I like Antony. But they are not in this game. And the reason they're not in this game is because Sevilla have... incorporated the high press and and swamped the midfield, and we just cannot get out. And he's got to think of a tactic to change that. I can't watch Maguire. I always turn off when he plays and prefers to watch you. The team is dictated by Maguire's aura. Bruno is the true captain, says Cads. I think Anthony's having a good game, just no organisation, says Sue. Rash says, shouldn't your keeper know the limitations of the players in front of him and adjust accordingly? Stop scapegoating Maguire. There's always a prat in the chat. We're nearly at half time. It's flown by this half, but not in a good way. Manchester United here in big trouble. But it's only 1-0. And we've got a corner here. Redemption for Maguire. He's coming up. Would it not be poetic? Would it not be romantic? Would it not be what Manchester United need? A Harry Maguire header. Eriksen's taken it. It's an outswinger. I don't like an outswinger. I can't speak, says Red Smurf United. Well, we'll be looking at that goal at half-time, but can we get one back before half-time? The cross from Maguire, the header from Maguire has got no power on it. Passes it to Sevilla. And they're on the break. Look at Maguire trying to run back. Look at Maguire trying to run back. Even Eriksen's quicker than him. Oh, Antony on the back post. Did well. I think it was going to go out anyway. We look like a team without their captain, says Alex. Good comment. Adam James, thanks for the super chat. Ryder says I'd release Maguire and bring anyone in. This is Atletico all over again, says Red Smurf United. We're just not turned up. We just haven't turned up. And look, we've made a big mistake on the goal. But as a team, you can make a mistake and you can still win. What a bloody shot that was. That was going in. What a shot. I think, is it Rakitic on the volley? Can't be worse playing Mengi instead of Maguire, says Connor. Was this going in? Headed away, cleared away. No, I think De Gea would have saved it. Mark, we've got to get Sancho and Maguire off. Rashford and Shaw on. No midfielder. Casemiro can play and feel at ease with Maguire on the pitch, says Damien. Sancho ducks a tackle. What the fuck are you doing, Jadon? You can't duck a tackle. But he's got it. Well, look, I'm not going to say anything. I like Sancho, but he's not had a good game. We've got a 3v2 here. Martial, lovely header by Sabitzer. This is going to be the end of the half. And he blows. And that's the end of the half. And Ten Hag walks off to the tunnel. After the red, Casemiro isn't looking that crispy, says Matthew Thomas. Mark, so we've done that from Damon. Half-time it is. Let me stop the clock. So Manchester United, 1-0 down here against Sevilla. Totally deserved. Totally deserved. There is no arguments about that. The better team has been Sevilla, and actually, I'd hate to say it, but they're probably worthy of 2-0. That's how dominant that performance is. I mean, the interesting thing is it's not really reflected in the stats. We've had more possession. They've only had 2 on target. We've apparently had 7 shots. I don't know where they've come from. I mean, if you were looking at those stats and it's 1-0 to Sevilla, you'd go, oh, it's a close game. But actually, we've been absolutely shocking, which shows you if we actually start playing well, we've got a reasonable platform there to get back into the game, because statistically it's quite equal. But if you've watched the game, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Welcome to the Members Club, Dean. Aaron Wan-Bissaka looks to have moved to the left, says Lee, and that's... I mean, what do you do at half-time? Sancho for Rashford's obvious, and Luke Shaw for Maguire. Shifting Lindelof to right-sided centre-back is obvious, but it depends on the fitness of those 2 players. If Rashford's not fit to play 45 minutes, you can't bring him on. If Luke Shaw's not fit to play 45 minutes, you can't bring him on either. Those would be the 2 subs I would make. Anthony says, don't let Sancho out of the dressing room. He's been crap. But the midfield is a massive problem as well. Look, the goal we'll look at in a minute. I think we've spoken about it enough, but we can have another look at it. A lot of people talking about Sancho. I don't like the way he doesn't go into that tackle at half-time on the edge of the box. You can't be shying out of a tackle like that, and Anthony certainly wouldn't. Martial's in the graveyard shift. I'm not going to say anything negative about him because there's just no service. The midfield has been poor, and I think the midfield has been swamped. And I think he's got to try and find a way to get hold of that midfield, because they're not going to change in the second half and we're going to go out. We've got to get further up the pitch. You know, they've got the crowd, they've got the midfield. It's a very difficult game to turn around when you're away from home and you've lost the midfield battle. So he's got to get hold of the midfield. Now, I don't know what Fred's done recently, but he doesn't seem to be given anywhere near as many starts as he was getting before the international break. So how he can mix it up to get more bodies in the midfield, it's very difficult, because they're playing a 4-5-1. We could play a 4-5-1. You just put Sancho in that midfield as well, and Anthony drop into the midfield. But then that's not going to work. We're playing more of a 4-3-3, and we're getting caught out. I'd like to find a way to get Fred into the team, but I'm not sure how we can do it. Eriksen was superb against Forest, but today he has been a passenger. They're just on us all the time. Don't let Sancho out of the dressing room, says Anthony Jury. I'd rather wheelchair Phil Jones out than see Maguire in a United shirt, says Clinton. We're looking bad, says Antonio. Mark, I know this is coming from you. Get rid of Harry Maguire. Leipzig away vibes again, says Abhishek. Campos showing more desire and energy than our whole squad, says give it to Mikey. Look, at the end of the day, we're going out and we deserve to go out. I think if I'm Erik Ten Hag, that's my mentality. We're going to go out. We deserve to go out, so we better fucking change it in the second half. We can only have a go. We're 1-0 down. We've got to score goals. We've got to create better chances. We've created shit all. They look more likely to score the next goal than us. Players of the old era rubbing off on the new ones, says Monkey. Look, we've got to find a way to get back into this game. And, you know, Marcus Rashford will give us that. He will. He'll give us an out ball as well. I think when you're playing like this, an out ball for Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof, hitting it 60 yards for Rashford, it's an option. So I think Rashford's got to come on at some point, but I just don't know how many minutes he can do. But the first thing I would be trying to control is the midfield. I've got to get control of that midfield, and the way to, you know, the big problem the midfield has got is the same problem we had on the goal. You've got centre backs that are just not Martinez and Varane. So they're not authoritative and they're not confident on the ball in these types of atmospheres. They're, you know, they're under pressure and they don't like being under pressure. Maguire and Lindelof are fine when they're on the halfway line with the ball, passing it amongst each other and no pressure. But they're being pressured on their edge of their box and they're struggling. They're really, really struggling. So, look, again, if Luke Shaw was fit, I'd play him at centre-back, left centre-back, but I don't know whether he is. But for probably one of the first times in a long time, I don't think there are subs that instantly change the way we're playing. We've literally got to change the idea of this game, the DNA. We've got to change this game and flip it. Because Sevilla have all the momentum, they have all the energy, they have all the dangerous possession, and they look most likely to score the second goal. Doesn't matter what subs you make, we've got to change the DNA of the game. And to do that, you know, we've got to play completely differently. And the big thing we are missing is Bruno Fernandes. We've spoken about this so many times this season. He doesn't get the credit for the captaincy he's been. Our win ratio with Bruno Fernandes this season is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And when he's out the team, people are like, oh, Sabitzer can play at number 10. It's not that simple. We're really missing him. What a pathetic performance, says Bradley. Shocking. I'd move Martial to the left to get him on the ball more, says Bradley. We're showing how reliant we truly are on Bruno, says Trey. And Bosnich just said if he's a centre-back asking for the ball and he's open, he would give him the same pass as Red Smith. Well, we're going to see it now. We're going to see this now. And I'm just going to watch this back and give you my feeling on it. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We could be witnessing Manchester United's European adventure over. I mean, imagine Man United and Arsenal not getting to the semi-final of this tournament. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's just so funny, isn't it? European football is so funny. You know, Man United and Arsenal should have won this tournament. But Fred has to come into the midfield. It's so flat, no tempo and no energy. If Bruno isn't playing, you have to get Fred in to give us some energy, says LJ. Lindelof is actually playing well. I think if Eric brings Shaw on for Maguire, that team changes slightly, says Trey. Is Casemiro all right? He's looking tired tonight, says Benson. And what does Ten Hag see in Maguire? Well, let's have a look at this. So, De Gea hits it long. Oh, BT are just going in on De Gea. Basically, De Gea. BT are going in on De Gea. So the ball goes to Harry Maguire here. He wants it. Nah, that's on Maguire. He wants that pass. He wants the pass. Watch what Maguire does here. He plays the ball slowly there, and then he wants it. He asks for it. He says, give me the ball. Asks for the ball. No, that's not on De Gea. There's nothing wrong with the pass that De Gea plays either. It's not like a bobbly pass. It's into his feet. And Maguire's pass is shit. It's not even on. The pass he plays to Wan-Bissaka, it's not even on. Well, now I've seen it. I ain't putting any blame on De Gea at all. They even circle him on BT and says he's asking for the ball. He shouldn't ask for the ball. Anyway, finally, Mark, it shows how underrated Bruno is, yet people find ways to hate him, says Asher. Look, at the end of the day, we can talk about that for as long as we want, and people can make their own mind up. You know, somebody said today they'd rather win the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup than finish in the top four. You know, I completely disagree with it, but it's their opinion. But we've got to talk about how we get back into the game. You can make a compilation of hundreds of times same passes used to beat the press, as Akash. Yes, you can. And Wixter, thank you very much for joining the members club. Why? Oh, I've got it. I just want to take some notes for full time because I think it'd be very interesting if we can turn it around. Let's do half-time player ratings. We've started doing this a little bit recently. English media not blaming Maguire. Shameful. If he's let it run, he's fine, says Aldo. It's Maguire's fault because he asks for it, which is on camera, caught in 4K. He asks for the ball and he doesn't scan. So it's his fault. It's his fault, isn't it? It's as simple as that. Rashford's on at half-time. Rashford's on at half-time. Scott says they're both at fault. Well, mate, I'd hate to be married to you. I mean that. Because when is it ever 50-50? You know, it's not. It's absolutely not both people's fault. You can put an element of blame on De Gea if you want to, but the pass from De Gea to Maguire doesn't cause the goal. It's what Maguire does with that ball. If Maguire... Look, if you think it's a bad pass by De Gea, I get it. But if Maguire boots it out for a throw-in, they don't score. I can't believe... I can't breathe. Get my inhaler. I can't understand how people are saying it's both people's fault. When, even if it's a bad pass, which I don't believe it is, if Maguire boots it out for a goal kick, it's for a corner, it's not a goal. So how can you blame them 50-50? I've never heard such shite in all my life. How's it 50-50? Even if it's a bad pass, it's 20-80 towards Maguire because he fucks it up. And he asked for it. De Gea's forgot it's not Martinez or Varane. That's all I can think of for those that blame him, says Jose. I don't know what's wrong with Sancho, but we can't wait for him to get his act together. I hate to say it, but we have to sell him, says John. Who would Beth blame it on? I'm not reading WhatsApps out. It's not fair, but she's on the forum. She blames De Gea. Like I said before the match, this game was going to be determined on how well the team can overcome his mistakes. Maguire's mistakes, says Stephen. Singe, welcome to Members Club. And BT pundits are commenting on style of play. They were never asked to play. The goalkeepers they played with would have lumped it long, says Ubermelon. And I'm really down that Sancho hasn't lived up to the hype. Does a Palestri sub make this game interesting? I'm really sad about Jadon Sancho. We've got to find a way to get back into this game. Scanning the field before receiving passes are basic stuff. It's not a limitation, especially when you're getting paid 200 grand a week, says the genius knows. I'm very sad about Jadon Sancho. Look, we've got to get a way back into this game. Maybe Maguire scores a header and redeems himself. You know, maybe De Gea makes a massive save and redeems himself. Maguire via videos are very valuable for coaches to teach how not to defend, says Sanel. Call Ben Foster and ask him, says John. Shall I message him? He might be busy. He might be talking to Ryan Reynolds. Hey mate, I don't know whether you're about, but I'm live on the United stand. I don't know whether you've seen the De Gea pass into Maguire. What were your thoughts on that with regards to, you know, who's at fault? Because a lot of people are saying it's Maguire on the watch along, but apparently the commentary team are saying De Gea. He might not reply. Maguire, Man United without Maguire in this tie, 2-0 with Maguire, 0-3. Maguire the first United player off the pitch, says Scoped. Well, we know Rashford's coming on. Do we know who he's coming off? I can't do the player ratings now because the game's about to start. We know that Rashford's coming off. Sorry, we know Rashford's coming on, but we don't know who he's coming on for. Let us know in the chat if you know. I presume it might be Sancho, but not 100% sure on that one. Sancho just hasn't got the fire in him. Shaw and Rashford coming on to Stewart. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he brings Shaw on and takes one of the fullbacks off. I don't think he'll take Maguire off. We need support. All the players united, says Benty. Well, look, Benty, you can call a mistake out, but as I said, if Maguire scores an equaliser from a corner, we're all going to celebrate it. So I think you're absolutely correct. We're 1-0 down here. Nobody wants to go out. We can call the mistakes out. We can have concerns. But at the end of the day, if Maguire scores the winner, his job done. I completely agree. I'll super chat the maximum amount possible if this goes 2-1. I'm that confident. I'm that confident on Maguire, says GJ. Maguire, do a poll for Maguire out. Nah, don't. Come on. Come on. We've got to find a way back into this. Got to find a way back into this. Apparently Maguire is still on. We need to score while Tony's on, and I don't trust Volkved, course, says Liam. Wan-Bissaka and Sancho off. I don't know. I don't know why Wan-Bissaka's been taken off. Look, look, this is why you get paid the big money. This is why Erik ten Hag is Manchester United manager. This is why we love Erik ten Hag. It's a brave move to keep to put Luke Shaw at left back and not put him at left centre back. Marcus Rashford's playing off the right. He's changed the whole left hand side. It's a tactical move, says Andrew. Well, look, it's got to work. I preferred Scholes when he kept his mouth shut, says KJ. I don't know what's been said. I don't know what's been said. Are you confident we're going to come back, Mark? We're Manchester United. Really enjoying Anthony recently. His fire reminds me of real old school United players, says Swift. I think I've took a note about Sancho, and I've just put worry. It's a worry when you're starting games because Garnacho and Rashford are injured, and then you're being subbed off at half time in a game like this. It's not a good look for Sancho in Erik ten Hag's eyes. No matter what we think, it's not a good look. Alan Doyle, thank you very much for that. Oh, free header, and it's in. Fucking hell. How the fuck's that gone in? I mean, I don't fucking believe it, mate. I can't believe it. The fuck? I don't even know how it goes in. I mean, like, watch this back. I don't know. I think Ten Hag's the same. I don't know what's gone on here. Cross comes in. It's an own goal. No, it's gone off his fucking shoulder. Off the bar. Oh, this is just a fucking freak goal. Absolute freak of a goal. It's gone off his shoulder and flicked off the bar. I fucking believe it. That's 3 bastard goals they've scored against us. 3 jammy goals they've scored against us. Fuck off. Just don't believe it. I don't believe it. It's basically hit his shoulder, spun up and dropped at a ridiculous angle off the bloody bar in. I fucking believe it. Don't know what's scarier, the Poltergeist or United's performance tonight. Emily, I've got to say, Martial's injured. Fucking great. I mean, this is... I never want to play Sevilla again. I never want to play Sevilla again. They score jammy goals and big players get injured. Fuck off. There's nothing you can say about that goal. It's not a blame game. It's just a complete and utter jammy goal. Maguire took 2 of his own players out in that corner. Was nowhere near as Sevilla player, says Red Smurf. I'm not blaming Maguire for that. I just think it's like the first 2 goals they scored against us. It's just an absolute joke. It hits his shoulder. Fuck off. We know whose side God's on, says Miller. Incredible. Look, somebody just said in the chat they deserve it. Well, they probably deserve it based on the first half, but the second half, at least give us a bloody chance to get back into it. Somebody said, do you blame De Gea for the goal, Mark? No, not really. I mean, if you want to go looking for it, you can do. I think the way the ball is looped and landed, it's basically skimmed the crossbar as it's dropped in. I don't know whether you've ever played in goal. Not everything is savable. It's the way it's looped in. And you're blind as well. When you're jumping back as a goalkeeper, you're blind. Like, you know, it's a difficult one. Some keepers would save it, some people would. I don't think it's massively, I don't think it's a keeping error. It's a jammy goal. I did British Judo Champs 3rd out of 27 in Team G, says Jimmy. Well done, Jimmy. Sevilla is actually our kryptonite. They are literally our bogey team. Our record against them is so bad, says the Beast. Big shout out to the Bangor Northern Ireland boys from Tucker. All big fans of the channel, Mark. Devastated to see United play like this, but in Ten Hag we trust. It's nearly 3. The fuck are we doing? Drullen with that super chat. I feel like Ten Hag will walk away because it seems he's not getting the players he's demanding, says Ari. And Mark, it isn't free. De Gea 100% should be saving that, says Ulster. Maybe, but that's just an opinion. I'm going to completely disagree with you. Let's have a look at this. Maguire beaten in the air. Luke Shaw nearly with the assist. De Gea with the save. Fucking hell, we're so bad. This is one of the worst performances of the season. I mean, our captain's playing in the defence. This is the scary thing. There's just no organisation. David says, Harry Maguire saw Upamecano's performance and told him to hold my beer. So just the Carabao Cup this season and fingers crossed for top 4, says James. This is one of our worst performances of the season. Barca would have smashed these. They're crap. This is the disappointing thing, Jezza. They're not that good. I'll give them the respect they deserve. You know, they deserve to be winning the game. But it's because we're shit. We should be winning this game. Sevilla ain't good. They ain't good. I'm going all high pitch. They're not good. I wasn't going to drink all of this. Maguire is our lump. He never marks anyone, says Esk. Oh, we've got a corner. Maguire's going to shut you all up now. Here we go. This is the start of the comeback. Maguire is going to bury this like a cat buries a turd. Proudly. Oh, he's bringing on Weghorst. He's bringing on bloody Weghorst for Martial because he's fucking injured. I give up. Martial off injured now. I give up. Fucking hell. That's a fucking joke. I've had enough. What? That. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. You know, you're 2-0 down. And Maguire and Martial comes off injured. That's like spending shitloads of money on your dream holiday. You turn up at the airport and they've lost your luggage. Then you get to the hotel and your missus says it's that time of the month. It's just, it's devastating. Absolutely devastating. I can't. I can't. I genuinely cannot. I can't. So, we concede 2 shitty, jammy goals last week from 2-0 up, and we lose Martinez and Varane. We concede a shitty goal today, and we lose Martial. So basically, every time Sevilla scam a goal, we lose a big player injured. Martial's got to go. Martial's got to go, by the way. You know, official. He's got to go. That's it. I've been very patient with Martial. He's got to go. Literally made of glass. He's not even made of glass. He's made of bloody crisps. Any impact breaks. In fact, he's made of skips. You know them ones that when they get wet, oh, he's going to book Casemiro now, who would miss the semi-final. I won't worry about it, mate. We won't be in it. This is clearly a mentality issue and it isn't evident to fans. It's Maguire. He has no minerals. He needs to leave the club, says Sumi. Today is an Ollie kind of day. Maguire really coming on when we were 2-0 up, and after that it's 4-2. It's an Ollie kind of day, says Lee. Erik Ten Hag needs the blame. Rotation and subs have been rubbish. My dead nan is better at centre-back than Maguire, says Jack. We bottle away games with hostile crowds. We do not have the mental strength to cope with the pressure, says Bobby. I think there's a great point about away games there. We are shit away from home when the going gets tough. Did you call me? No, we didn't, Ollie. When the going gets tough, Ollie gets rough. I had a great away record. Yeah, because there's no bloody fans, mate. Can I just tell you, right? Seriously, it's probably going to make you feel bad, but Sevilla are shit. Like, people are falling in love with Sevilla because of their past escapades in this tournament. Sevilla are 13th in La Liga. They've lost 12 games this season. They've only won 9. They're not very good. We've beaten Betis, Sociedad and Barcelona. All of them are better than Sevilla. We've bottled this. We've absolutely bottled this. This is not a game that you just go, oh, well, they're better than us. We've beaten 3 Spanish sides better than them. Unfortunately for Martial, it's time, says Gaz. Yeah, I'm gutted, but, you know, he just can't be relied upon. United this season are literally like a team staring in Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso, says Drava. And, yeah, I just don't see a way back. I don't see a way back. Please subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Player ratings is going to be hilarious at full time. Man United got me on the whiskey, says Chris. And play this again, Brighton, and it'll be another 7-0, says B. Yakov. Oh, Brighton will be licking their lips. Here's Anthony. Come on. Come on, then. Come on. Into Rashford. We need some individualism here, Marcus. West Ham are 2-1 up. Who are they playing, Daniela? Who gives a shit? Oh, they're playing in the Conference League, aren't they? Oh, well, let's do the latest results from the local 5-a-side league as well. Fucking Conference League. Couldn't give a shit. I'm Ronnie Pickering. Erik Ten Hag is walking on thin ice, says Brick. What? Failed to make top 4 and he needs to be replaced. What? You're having a laugh. Stuff this stupid tournament, end the season, get top 4, new owners, Maguire out, stop saying how bad Sevilla are, they're only bad in La Liga, says Nathan. Yeah, that's pretty important considering they play in it. It's the hope that kills you, says Becca. This is a shit performance. Sorry, but can't defend Harry anymore. But as a whole, they have bottled it completely. Bottled it, says Des. You know, I agree with that. I agree with that. I think the blame on Maguire, you know, whatever, you know, that's just the way it might be. But the general team performance has been terrible as well. Like, it's 2-0. We've done nothing. The only way we are going to get rid of Maguire is if we kidnap him and drive him out of Manchester. Goldbridge for Man United, says Leon. Blaming Ten Hag is ridiculous. Shaw isn't fit, says Thomas. I worry about the Brighton game. I suppose it not being away might help. Let's have a sing-song. Fucking ridiculous. I don't know whether this is true. I don't know whether this is true. Apparently, Harry Maguire injured Martial. I don't know whether that's true. Apparently he injured. I've just had a message there that Martial was injured by Maguire on the corner. Now, look, that's just a message I've had. I don't know whether it's true. No depth has come back to haunt us. Glazers out, says Timothy. Here's Rashford. Sure, whip it in, whip it in. Nah. We need to offload players like last season, but we wanted to give them another chance. How many times do we need to see these players fail before we boot them out? Their losing mentality is killing us, says Zeus. Still way too many weak-minded players in this team that go missing in big games. We need to get rid of these players that just let their heads drop, says the Rosinator. Adve, welcome to the Members Club. And do you think Ten Hag actually likes Maguire or just sees him as his only option right now? I think he does like him, Ed. Because he's picked him ahead of Lindelof. But tonight, I don't think he's got any choice. Casemiro, good shot, good save. Curtis, welcome to the Members Club. I don't know whether that's true. But apparently the only impact on Martial was Maguire. Do you think Ten Hag's made any errors? Yes. Maguire should have come off. I'd have kept... I mean, look, you could bring Malacia on at left back. You don't need to put Luke Shaw on at left back. Help by the Beatles is the new theme song, says Lee. Look, we've had a good season, but this is pitiful. And the thing that would I'm going to write. I've got so many bloody notes. Ten Hag equals Liverpool. You know, after Liverpool, we got told, "Oh, we'll go again. It won't happen again. It won't happen again." And I've seen two performances since Liverpool that easily could have replicated Liverpool. Tonight and Newcastle. So, you know that Liverpool game where we got stuffed and the players came out going, "Oh, it won't happen again. We're really sad. It won't happen again." I've seen two performances since then where it could have happened again. Newcastle at St James's Park and Sevilla tonight. We've got a problem away from home. We've got a problem. We're rubbish. We've got a weak mentality away from home. We don't like noise that's not pro us. Go steady on the wine. It's Ribena, Reese. And love this club, but there's a glaring lack of fortitude and ability, says Duma. It doesn't help that instead of giving Eric what he wants, we loaned in a couple. Check the replay. Maguire pushes Sabitzer, who falls onto Martial, says Azit. I mean, if that's how he's got injured. It's 4:22 a.m. Should I go to bed, says Mikael. I would. Have you seen Carragher's tweet about Anthony and Sancho, says the LMH. No, I haven't. You can't blame the Glazers for this. Awful players, says Cortex. Uber Melon, how many points has Ollie's decision to make Maguire captain and a future manager's decision to keep him as captain cost United? And have we actually had a good season, or have we just been average and benefited from Liverpool and Chelsea, says Jack? No, I think there's been great runs this season, but I think ultimately, I I did say that that we would struggle because of the biggest boy. Thank you very much for being a member. I did say that we would struggle because we haven't got the squad for it, and I think we defied the logic for a little bit. But this is not about the squad. This ain't about the squad. This is about the players. I've just replied to Carragher's tweet if you want to read it. Sorry if you already have, but would you go to the FA Cup final if they get there and make a video or just enjoy it, says Ed? No, I'll do a watch along. There'll be plenty of time for that when I retire. Couple of more years and I'm done, and then hopefully I'll live till I'm like 70. That's another 30 years of watching United. So no, a lot of people enjoy the watch alongs. People don't seem to respect that, is my choice. We've got 61,000 people watching. It's a very selfish thing to go to a football match and enjoy it for your own benefit. I think we built something with the watch alongs. Do it for a couple more years and then I'm out. Want to start taking Seb to Old Trafford and stuff like that. So why bring Weghorst on? Surely Rashford would be better up top and being Palestri on. Love Ten Hag, but some of his subs are just weird, says Luke. Mark, I don't understand why Maguire is on the right. I can only think it's to play switch pass or to stop them cutting inside, but it's not working, says Sam. What happened to Fred? We don't have dynamic players who could pull themselves out of a situation. Recently saw Van Nistelrooy's story with Gary. Gave me goosebumps, says GJ. And do you want the highest of highs and the lowest of lows? Then Man United is the club for you, says little Normie. Well, I'm still waiting for Maguire. Brighton are going to wipe the floor with us, says Fabian. Oh, he's coming on. I mean, 23 minutes to go. You could score 2 goals easy. If you get one back, it's just such a weak performance. Shaw's completed like 4 out of 20 passes, says Rude. David Hall, thank you very much. Well, Luke Shaw might not be fit. At least we don't have to worry about Thursday football anymore. Ten Hag clearly has a lot to do this summer if he gets the backing. Just shocking. I'm a bit worried about top 4 with this performance, says Des. And look, you know what? I was excited before this game because you've got a quarter-final of the Europa League. You've got a semi-final in the FA Cup, and then you've got Spurs away and Villa at home. If we lose all 4, we're in big trouble. Very big trouble. Look, we're going to get bantered, but they deserve to win. All I would say in our defence, and I don't really want to say it because we've been shite tonight, but 3 of their goals are ridiculous. They're 4-2 up an aggregate, and in fact, all 4 of their goals are stupid, aren't they? I mean, that's the genius of football. All 4 of their goals are stupid. 2 of them are own goals last week. The 3rd goal tonight goes off his shoulder and loops over the keeper. And the other goal, I mean, that should never happen either. Their goals are rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Would it be fairer to assume that obviously we need to be held accountable for this season's dire performance, but we're still in transition? Oh, of course, Max. Of course. And I think in this season of transition, certain players are being exposed as not good enough. Now, we can all have the Maguire chat, but I think Anthony Martial's made of glass. You know, I like Martial. I think he's a really good player, but he cannot stay fit. That must be his. I'm not joking. That's either his 6th or 7th injury this season. Was this the better play Ricky promised without Bruno and Rashford? Don't think we can win the FA Cup anymore, says Stephen. Look, it's a different game on Sunday, and Bruno's back. You know, Bruno's back on Sunday. We've got to win. You know, I wrote that down for my match reaction. I put Bruno. I put Brune. I didn't put the O at the end. I put Brune. I've put the O on now. Bruno. Like, he makes a difference. Here's Weghorst when he gets there. Anthony, come on, 1 goal. I'm convinced Maguire and Upamecano are brothers, says Luke. I mean, Weghorst, he's a trier. Free kick here. Hit it, Rashford. Thanks everyone who's watched tonight, by the way. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. 20 minutes to go here. Free kick to United. Eriksen's got to score this. We've got to score. We can still get back into it. It can still be a memorable night. You got to believe. You got to believe. It can still happen. Eriksen. Oh, you know what? I thought it was going to go in. How has it not gone in? I thought it had the trajectory. Oh, it's wow. I tell you what, I thought he got that. Let's have a look at this angle. It's definitely a corner. Oh, he's not far off, you know. I think Bono's got it covered. We've been punching above our weight all season, and with this squad, Erik ten Hag is a miracle worker, says Andy. Oh, I won't hurt it. Look, I'll criticise Ten Hag on decisions. I won't criticise Ten Hag as the coach. There is no doubt in my mind. I'm 100% convinced he's the right man. I wouldn't swap him for anyone. Five Cantona says, how many more of these schoolboy performances do we have to endure as United fans, season after season? Doesn't matter who manages, it's the same joke. There you go. I know Ranić is looking at the team saying, I told you so, says Zeus. I'm convinced Eriksen is trying to be subbed off. He's diabolical tonight, says James. I hope now United fans can realise how important Bruno is to the team, says Ruben. Well, look, I hope that when you do the player ratings, I hope that you... I hope that you can respect the fact that just because you like a player, you know, because Sancho's going to get shit, isn't he? Maguire's going to get shit, but you know, Eriksen hasn't been good. Like, I like Eriksen. You've got to be even-handed in the scores today. If I had the same confidence in myself that Fred does when joining the free kick takers, I would have had a lot more luck with ladies, says Uben. He is, you know, Fred is. Oh, look at it! Every corner as well. Every corner they've caused an issue. I don't get it. I have lost belief, Mark. Just get top 4, get new owners. We miss Bruno, but should not rely on one player, says Des. You know what, Des? I thought you were going to say that. I've lost belief. Just get top 4, get me on my holidays to Mallorca, and let's reconvene in August. This is a terrible performance, though. I can't. I think that has to be acknowledged. You know, we talk about some really good tactical decisions by Ten Hag over the season. But tonight, rubbish. Mark, if you were Southgate, would you keep calling up Maguire? He starts him, Giggy. It's got nothing to do with whether he calls him up. He starts him. Ten Hag has bloody sabotaged again. Start your best team, says Alex. What team could he have picked, though, Alex? Can you imagine if we brought up Meccano and paired him with Maguire, says Ronnie. Mark, could we trace this unfortunate loss to the series of bad subs in the previous games, says Ritish? I think he was out of options tonight. I will defend Ten Hag on that. I think he was out of options. He can't change his centre-backs. If Luke Shaw isn't fit to start, you've got to play Maguire and Lindelof. You have to. He's got no other options in the midfield because McTominay and Bruno are injured. I don't think he can start a different team. I really don't think he can change the starting lineup. If Maguire is so good in the air, why do we look shaky defending corners? He's had a bad game, Jeff. It's got into his head. That mistake has killed him. Confidence-wise, Maguire's game, I've been keeping it on the down low, you know. I didn't even react to the goal that bad at the time. His game, he has not recovered from that. Apparently, the only thing Harry Maguire is good at defending himself, says Revel. We're so crap on corners. I'm so let down, says Chris. Mark, can we have player ratings now so I can go to bed? This isn't worth watching, says James. I'll have a look. Don't forget, by the way, if you want a bit of positivity tonight, big shout out to Boohoo Man. How appropriate. We're sponsored by Boohoo Man on the show tonight because we all feel like crying. 40% off using the code Goldbridge. Links in the description. Scan the QR code. If you don't feel like doing it tonight, just remember it. Boohoo Man. I'm wearing my hoodie. Loads of fantastic, chill out wear, gym wear, five-a-side wear. If you think you can do better than Maguire, there's hope for us all. You fancy a run tomorrow? Get yourself some stuff with Boohoo Man with 40% off with the code Goldbridge. What do you think of Carragher saying Anthony has done more than Sancho? Because I agree. If Anthony was English, they would say he had a good first season. I agree with him, Mazza. I replied to him. Shane Matthews, thank you very much for joining the members club. You're all legends tonight. We're going to get nights like this. Of course we are. You know what? I've hated the game. I've enjoyed the stream. I don't know how that works, but I've hated the game. But this is why I love doing it, because years ago you'd watch these sort of games like under Moyes. I didn't have the United stand then, so I'd watch those games and I'd be frustrated. No one to talk to. It's great when we're winning to chat and enjoy it together, but actually I think the community is really helpful in games like this because we've been absolutely shit. And if I didn't have you lot to bounce off, it would be even worse. So thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. You've been great. If Maguire wasn't playing, we had a chance as Abdul. I think you had to pick him. I can't argue with the team because I don't think anyone else could play centre-back. We've been poor, but defensively we gave them confidence, says Des. Shane Matthews, welcome to the Members Club. Well, of course, remember that... Luke Shaw's hobbling now. Fucking hell. If we get 2 injuries again... I was going to say, Maguire can't play on Saturday. Still hobbling, Luke Shaw. Yeah, Maguire can't play on Saturday. He's suspended. This happened last season. Remember last season, loads of players just disappeared. Loads of players got injured. How the hell will we compete in the Champions League like this, says Sam? Well, that's a problem for next season, if we get there. Show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I had a little drink about an hour ago and it's gone straight to my head. Oh, show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I had a little drink about an hour ago and it's gone straight to my head. Head. Oh, show me the way to go home. Video description has got the player ratings in. Mark every player out of 10. It's in there somewhere. That's what she said. No, that's what he said. I don't know. Anyway, Devastating. Devastating. We're not there yet, people. We're just not there yet. We're not there yet. We're a work in progress. And I think somebody said it, to be fair, somebody said it very, very well. This has been rubbish. Cutting edge commentary there. But somebody said it. We are still a team in transition. This time last season, I remember doing the watch-alongs and we were shite. You know, 59. What was it? We didn't even get 59 points. We got less than 60 points. We've improved, but there's still a lot of work to do. Oh my God, what's De Gea doing? Oh, that's on De Gea. That's on De Gea. That is absolutely shit. I've got to say that is fucking shite. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's on De Gea. I've got to tweet it, otherwise I'm unfair. Yeah, that's definitely on De Gea. I mean, it's a ball over the top and fucking hell. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Beam me up, Scotty. Maybe it's time to sign a new goalkeeper. Oh, I don't know. I just don't know. How we've lost 3-0 here tonight, I don't know. I just do not know how we've lost 3-0 to Sevilla. They're 13th in La Liga. We've beaten Betis, Sociedad and Barcelona, who are all better than this. There's a mentality problem with this team. There's a mentality. Rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. I mean, I don't know. Look, I'm always fair. The first goal is on Maguire. The second goal is a fluke. And the third goal, I don't know what De Gea's doing. That I haven't seen control that bad since Lukaku was playing up front. I mean, that's trampoline toes. Maguire's probably happy that he's going to get a partner in crime now. Ugh, Rory needs to redo his player ratings. Beth's going to have a lot to say about that. So, well, look, you know what? I think that... Well, I'll talk about it in the match reaction. There is no way that's De Gea's fault, the first one. But the third one... I mean, look. That's shocking. I don't care who... And then, look, anyone can make mistakes. I've seen Alisson make mistakes. You can make a mistake. You can make a mistake. I think that let's not overanalyze mistakes. De Gea's an important player. You know, Maguire's not. There's levels to this game, but it's a shocking mistake. I'm not going to defend De Gea on that. It's rubbish. Absolute shite. At this level, absolutely crap. But the mentality of every single player, I think, there's nowhere to hide when you're a striker, a defender or a goalkeeper. In the midfield, there's somewhere to hide. And there's been some bad performances in the midfield as well. How the hell does Erik ten Hag even go about pulling these Pratt's pants down, make them run, find them? You know, James, you're right. If Ten Hag did know, he knows now, says Alan. How many of these players start for Real Madrid or City, says Alligator. I'm just so disappointed. I'm really disappointed tonight. Well, the only player who comes out of this with any credit is Bruno. Hey. I had something to say and I forgot it. But you know what? Let's think positive. Now Man United could focus on the top four, says Ack. I'm sorry, they all played bad when Maguire plays. They look nervous with him, says Tony. The summer window coming up is so important, but I'm worried about it with the Glazers still around, says Luke. Hey, you know what? That's a positive for me. That's actually a positive for me. You know, a few weeks ago, I think the Glazers were looking at it and going, we can get 6 billion. We ain't worth 6 billion. When it comes to the sale, the Glazers will hate this. You know, it actually benefits us when it comes to a sale that we're not doing very well and we need loads of investment. So, I mean, I don't want to lose tonight. No one wants to lose tonight. But that team needs a lot of investment. The Glazers can't. This ain't a team that's going to win the title with a couple of subs. You know, it's miles off. It needs a lot of investment. Only positive of this game is I watched it at work. Says me. Well, the only positive has been the live chat for me. Are the players protesting or affected by the Glazers, says Mitch? No, they're just not good enough, mate. They're not good enough. There's no mentality in that team. They look like a bunch of strangers. It's rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. How on earth do we turn this around against a much better side in Brighton? This could be a really scruffy end to the season, says Smoggy. And we need to wake up. These players has shown... Sevilla are doing that stupid Poznan. Go fuck yourselves. Go fuck yourselves. Absolute knobheads. It's the worst. It's literally the knobheady. It's the most knobhead. If Man United fans ever did the Poznan, I'd be ashamed. It's the most. It's the knobheadest celebration you can do. We need to wake up. These players have shown us time and time again they down tools, says Ozama. This team cannot handle hostile environments, says Daz. What are they doing differently in the lead up to away matches that they've played so crap, says Travis. If anyone says Bruno is not vital or the leader of this team, this sport is not for you, says Keegan. There was something good I was going to say, but I forgot. That's embarrassing. That result was embarrassing. And at the end of the day, you know, football has an odd way of kicking you in the arse. And I'm sure we've got one or two Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans, City fans watching to take the piss. And I would say to them, I embrace it, because this is why this sport is so great. It's the fans that make football. You know, we're the ones that have the banter. We're the ones that have the ups and downs. We're the ones who feel it the most. And, you know, I think Liverpool fans would say it this season. Man City fans would say it before the money. Arsenal would say it over the last 10 years. We're not good enough. Like, there's no... I embrace the rival fans taking the piss, because we've not shown any. We're rubbish. Those players, yet again, have embarrassed us. They're not good enough. Like, I don't know what it is, but that's unrecognisable. Like, at no point in this game have we shown... I mean, I've been sat here for 45 minutes reading the super chats and the live chats and looking at my phone, because we were never coming back into this game. They scored the second goal right at the start of the second half. If that was against Man City, I'd expect them... I'd still expect Man City to win the game 3-2. I knew it was over, because I knew that you can tell. You know, with this United side, you can predict it pretty quick. You just know what mood they're in. Justin says another easier La Liga side get in. Says just yeah, but I'm not the manager, mate. So again, you're talking about jinx and shit like that, aren't you? Again, like I say, I don't jinx the game. I don't. Like, it's just ridiculous to think that happens. And we had a really good record against, and I'm going to give Sevilla the credit. I think they've scored some jammy goals, but I mean, every one of their goals has been shit. 3 deflections and 2 massive mistakes. I don't think Sevilla are very good. God knows who's going to win this tournament, because it should have been us or Arsenal, but you know, we've fucked it. But the ridiculous thing about United is we've played Barcelona, Sociedad and Betis, and they're all better than Sevilla. Roma are going out. So Sevilla, Juventus and Leverkusen are going to be the quarterfinalists with Feyenoord. Roma are going out at the moment. They're 2-1 down in aggregate. Player ratings, links in the video description. Disappointing, very disappointing. I mean, what do you want me to say? What are you saying at the moment? Like, just disappointed. But I hate losing. I absolutely hate losing. I remember being 7 years old, playing for Colston Bassett, my primary school, in blue. I had an Everton kit on, don't ask, and we played. We were the underdogs in this tournament. It was a Saturday tournament. It was sunny, 6-a-side. We beat the best team in the tournament in the group stage, and then we lost on penalties in the semis. And I was gutted. But we over-exceeded. We played our best. It's horrible to lose, but when you leave everything out there, it's still horrible to lose. But when you lose like that, when you leave, you don't even turn up. I can't deal with that. I don't know about you. I can't deal with that. I hate losing anyway. You know, I think over the years, you know, United against Barcelona in Rome, that I couldn't sleep that night. You know, but I hate. One thing about Sir Alex is we did lose games and they were disappointing. But you always give it everything. This last 10 years, there's just too many results like this where you play shit and you look at it as a fan and you go, we are fucking shit. Where is the effort? Where is the mentality? And I hate losing, but losing like this is just so much harder because there's nothing to take away because you know you've deserved to. I'm fed up of going fair play to Sevilla, fair play to Liverpool, fair play to Brighton, fair play to Newcastle, fair play to Brentford, because you know they deserve to win. I'm fed up of it. Dybala's scored for Roma. I'd love Roma to win it now. I'd love Roma to win it. Who thought it was a good idea to have a player contract be unsackable? If that's Maguire in an office, he's gone tomorrow, says Delicate Official. You know what kind of result it's going to be when we play like this from the start, says Ray. I agree, Ray. Casemiro looks deflated. He hasn't been himself for a while. I agree, Shan. Breaking news, we have a weak squad, says Andy. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for everyone else's chats. Anyone still have doubts over the importance of Bruno? Nothing offered up front and zero control. We've missed Bruno massively. Massively. Teddy says, absolute muck. Brighton are going to hockey us. Wow, what a game to have to bounce back for. There wouldn't have been many people who predicted this, though. 3-0. There really wouldn't. Player ratings and match reactions going to be great. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. This is the United Stand. We have got a great community. Even in horrible nights like this, at least we can spend it together. But if you predicted 3-0 tonight, fair play, can have the lottery numbers. It's my birthday today, says Alto. I'm devastated. Happy birthday, mate. This is embarrassing. All these injuries and we have to get smashed by Brighton. That's another game, Lee. The tie was lost at Old Trafford last week. Had we won handsomely, Sevilla would have been more defensive tonight, says Slow Sports News. Well, we should have took a 2-0 lead to Sevilla. But that's shit. Embarrassing performance, says Tivs. Yeah, it's absolute shite. There ain't no doubt about it. I don't think Sevilla can believe it. I mean, they have got some sort of hold on this tournament, but, you know, the only positive I can say is we deserve to lose, but all of their goals are shite. 3 deflections and 2 massive mistakes. But, yeah, absolutely rubbish. Maguire looks gutted, shaking his head, looks like he's going to cry. You're not good enough, mate. You're not good enough. Like, and you're not the only one. You're not good enough. Weghorst ain't good enough either. Like, you know, there's plenty. You know, and look, De Gea, shit tonight. Eriksen, shit. I love them both, but they were shit. You know, it's not just Maguire tonight. There's some shit performances. And we'll talk about that on the player ratings. I'm going to be live in about a minute. I'll see you over there.